Am I the a-hole for not taking in my brother-in-law who peed on my stuff and blamed my cat? Sorry, I can't not read that without laughing a little bit. My 29 female husband, Ted, 34 male, and I have been together for 10 years. We met early in college and dated all throughout. I graduated before him and took a semester for traveling while he finished so we could move to another state. He ended up having to repeat some classes. So when I came back, we couldn't move yet. And I had no place of my own. So I moved in with him and his roommate slash brother, Ash, 32 male, while Ted finished school. Okay. Not wild about the ages, but we continue. Before moving in, I made sure that Ted cleared it with Ash that I was bringing my male cat with me. They had a dog who was old, but Ash said he was fine with it. About 3 weeks after moving in, I started noticing that our bedroom started to smell a lot like pee, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. My cat is toilet trained, so I knew it wasn't him. Oh, Kathy's calling, chat. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's Kathy. Hey, Kathy, I'm live on stream right now.
Honey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. What have you been up to?
Work.
Oh, boring.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Wait, say hi to chat really quick. They're all saying hi to you.
Hi, chat. How are you?
What were you saying?
I said, I won't keep you. I won't bug you, but I just...
Okay, it was nothing urgent.
Yeah, nothing urgent. I'll text you in a bit.
Okay, awesome.
Love you, Ben.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Dude, I feel so bad for Kathy, man. She always calls while I'm streaming or like while I'm working or something because I'm always fucking working, bro. About 3 weeks after moving in, I started noticing that our bedroom started to smell a lot like pee and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. My cat is toilet trained, so I knew it wasn't him, and the dog couldn't go into our room because it was on the second floor and he had hip problems. I started finding clothes on the floor smelling like pee. Okay, so I'm guessing OP means that the cat is litter box trained, which is crazy. Like, I wouldn't ever refer to Beans as like toilet trained because bro just came with default settings. Like, I didn't have to teach him shit. I'm pretty sure that's every cat, right? You literally just put out the litter box and then they just pee in it. Dr. Pepper, that's what I was thinking of. Have you guys ever seen those videos of those cats literally peeing in the toilet? Like, I'm actually wondering if that's what OP means. Like, I wonder if OP has one of those cats where they teach them to pee in an actual toilet. You know what? We're fucking pulling it up, chat. I don't care if y'all don't want to see it. I think it's the most amazing thing in the world. Watch this cat pee in a toilet. That's just incredible to me, y'all. I really hope this is what OP means. Like, this is so funny to me. Look at bro. How talented. I think this is as talented as a cat can get, by the way. Bro is breaking default settings to act like a human. I asked Ted, and he said he had no idea. After 3 months of frustration and this happening about 2 times a week, I asked Ash if he was bringing the dog upstairs. He said no. At this point, I'm fed up. I stopped leaving clothes anywhere, but I was still finding pee in my shoes, my throw pillows, things like that. After breaking down one day, Ash suggested it was my cat marking his territory, as male cats are known for doing that. He said it made sense, as it was only on my things, and it was a new place. If any of y'all have cats, you know that cat pee smells different than human pee. Agreed, and also, if cats are like peeing on shit, like unless they're unneutered, it's usually a red flag. I trust my cat with my whole heart, so I set up a camera in our room. I was paying rent, boyfriend knew about it, so I figured this was the best way to find out where the pee was coming from. Lo and behold, Ash was coming into our room and peeing on my stuff. When I saw the video, I packed my things and my cat and went to stay with a friend until Ted finished college and we moved. When all of this happened, I refused to confront him because ew, and Ted dealt with that. Okay, I feel like this is a test of Ted. I haven't really spoken to Ash since. He was a best man at the wedding, but we tend to keep clear of each other at family gatherings and such. Okay, wait, I think that's fucking crazy. My sibling is peeing on my partner's stuff. They're not making the groom's party, the bridesmaid party, or the maid of honor or best man. To be honest, y'all, I think an invite to the wedding in general is disrespectful. Like, ain't no way. Because, y'all, it has to be something sexual, right? He's not just doing it for shits and gigs. It has to be something sexual. Don't get me wrong, Ash is the weirdo. But, like, I'm kind of not fucking with the husband. With the pandemic, Ash lost his job and his apartment and is honestly struggling financially. He asked if he could move in with us, and I honestly don't want to because he peed on my stuff. He was 25 years old when it happened. He was a grown-ass man. Now their whole family is calling and texting, telling me I'm an ass for leaving him homeless in the middle of a pandemic, but it wasn't their stuff getting peed on. That's fucking insane. If somebody called me to be like, you need to take in this man who was peeing on your shit, I'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why don't y'all take little pissy boy in? Why is this OP's responsibility? I'm gonna say it, you guys. I don't think OP should have married into this family. That's fucking weird. Am I the a-hole? Am I holding a grudge because he peed on my stuff, but he is losing his home and his cat deserves a home, but it was made very clear that I cannot just take in his cat and leave him to the elements. I know I'm justified, but now Ted said that he couldn't do that to his brother, and the job market is better here for his type of job. Yeah, your husband sounds like a fucking loser. I mean, not only because of this, but also, guys, he was 24 and OP was 19 when they started dating. I feel like that's a little too young. You don't have a brother-in-law problem, you have a husband problem? I mean, I think you have a both problem. That's fucking insane. That's like your partner's safety. The husband is advocating for his partner to be in a situation where she feels not as safe. Like, holy fuck. Guys, can I also be a fucking mean person and say that I kind of cringed a little when she said that she finished college before Ted, even though she's 5 years younger, and then when he was supposed to finish, he had to repeat some classes because he failed them? I'm not gonna lie, I made a judgment. I'm definitely a dick for this, but I would for sure get the ick. We have some edits, we have updates. Let's go into edit 1. Answering a few questions that have popped up a couple times. 1. Is he in therapy? He was, last time I checked, after Peegate. His mom made him go. That's how we found out. Question number 2, why did he do this? Ash and Ted were and are best friends, and me coming into Ted's life was threatening enough that he wanted to break us up. Clearly, it didn't work, and it only made Ted go no contact for a time. His therapist suggested that Ash had to make amends with his brother, in parentheses, according to his mother-in-law, who is the one who reconnected them, and ask for forgiveness for his actions. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it Ted's shit that he was peeing on? Bro, this would make me so fucking mad. If Ted was my partner, I would be crashing out. The fuck do you mean you need to apologize to your brother? You need to apologize to me. They reconnected, and as long as I didn't have to be with him and he never stepped into our home, I could live with it. I don't think you should have OP. I think if any of you guys are in OP situation in any way, shape, or form, you gotta dip. Question 3, why was he in the wedding? When we were getting married, the party was more for our parents. We didn't mind the courthouse, but my parents wanted a big wedding because I'm the first of my sisters to get married. All of my sisters and all of Ted's brothers were bridesmaids and groomsmen, and we couldn't exclude him. Ted and Ash are best friends after all, and as long as I didn't have to take pictures with P-Man himself and he didn't give a speech, I didn't care. Red flag. Listen, if you can make amends with this person, maybe you're just a better person than I am, but being best friends with them after this is fucking crazy. If my literal best friend in the world pulled this shit on me, I would never be best friends with him ever again. If my sibling pulled this shit on me, we could never get to the same level of siblingship that we were at before they peed on my partner's shit. Also, y'all, I forgot to mention this, but I kind of call bullshit on the just wanting to break them up thing. Because you know what? There are way more efficient ways to break people up than peeing on the person that you're trying to break up's partner's clothes. I think that's bullshit. I think that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It was for sure sexual, and you can't convince me otherwise. Why can't any of his family take him in? We live in the East Coast. The rest of the families live in the West Coast. After many comments, I'm starting to doubt this next part, but I'll say it still because it's the information I have. Ash's profession is much more employable on the East Coast than on the West, so him moving across would diminish his chances of finding a new job in his field. I am in the process of convincing all the brothers, there's 8 more, to pitch in a bit, so between us all, he can stay there. Holy shit. 8 brothers? They have to be Mormon. You can't convince me otherwise. Question 4, maybe 5? I don't know. I lost count. Why do they think I'm an ass? His whole family is very, very forgive and forget. They have forgiven things that are appalling to me. Car stealing, faking a college degree and keeping the money, etc. So they really think that this was just a one-time thing and he's outgrown it, and I just need to get over it. Oh my God, OP, you married into the worst family possible. Question number whatever. Did he apologize? He apologized to Ted, but never to me, which I'm a bit bitter about. That's crazy. Your friend or sibling or parent does something awful to your partner, and that person tries to come and apologize to you instead of that partner. You as a partner need to advocate for, don't apologize to me, apologize to them. And then maybe we'll contemplate whether or not we want to keep you in our lives. Like, I'm fucking mad at Ted just as much as I'm mad at Ash. I was considering accepting an apology, but you guys are right, and that would be self-serving of him and a way to get back into my house and potentially give me PTSD. They spelled PTSD, PEETSD. Can't lie, that's a good one. OP followed that by saying, I'm sorry, I promise I'm not making fun. I just saw a chance and had to take it. Honestly, 10 out of 10, no notes. Good joke. Question number whatever. Did he pay for the stuff he peed on? Well, since I didn't know where pee was coming from, I just kept washing the pee things. After the video, I did throw out everything that I remember had been peed on that did not hold sentimental value, but there's 2 pairs of shoes currently in my home who have been golden showered. Oh no. I don't think I'd be able to keep them. Even if they were sentimental to me, I'd be like, you've been golden showered, you gotta go. He did not pay for the stuff I threw out, and honestly, it never occurred to me to ask him to. I just cut my losses. Another question, what is your husband's stance on this? Ted is the best human in the universe, and he honestly puts up with enough of my shenanigans that I would legit let P-Man move in if it made Ted happy. Nah, girl, I think your husband's a piece of fucking shit. There's just too much in this story of your husband being absolute dog shit, bro. As soon as everything happened, he was disturbed and cut him off completely, but after his mom said the therapist thought it would help him to make amends, they made up. Ted has never once pressed me to be with Ash or for him to come to our house, but he went to your fucking wedding, like... Okay, all right, whatever. When we got married, he told me it was absolutely okay if I said no to Ash being the best man, but I love him enough to deal with him when it's necessary, such as Christmas, except 2020 and big family events. Last question, can I see the video? Okay, what a fucking weird question. I don't want to see that. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but no. As pissed, in parentheses, he, as I might be at the man, I do believe in privacy. When it happened, I only sent it to Ted so he would believe me, in parentheses, because I honestly wouldn't believe me if he told me one of my sisters was peeing on his stuff. As far as I know, he has only shown it to his parents to provide proof that we weren't making things up, and 2 of the older brothers because I don't know, they're guys and curious. Oh, hi. Hello, Major. Hello, my dubbies. Oh, he's going back to his window perch. Oh no, he's making a round back. He's circling back, chat. Our baby boy is making the circle and he's covering the screen I read on. Yes, he is. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, put that away. Put that away. For free is crazy. Okay, I'm not gonna read these last couple paragraphs because they're just like thank yous and whatever. Edit 2 with some mini updates. So P has hit the fan in the family and my day has been awful. Some of the other brothers saw this post in all of your comments and the family didn't have the whole story and apparently neither did I. Brothers number 3, 4, and 8 are on their way to deal with it because I'm way over my head. Oh? Wait, y'all, I can't suss out if this is good or bad for OP. These last couple paragraphs aren't really essential to the story, other than things suck right now, but hopefully I'll be able to give you guys closure or at least more answers in a couple of days. Bro, what a fucking cliffhanger, man! I'm trying to decide what this means, you guys. The family didn't have the whole story, and apparently neither did I. Oh, I wonder if they dumbed down or lied about what the brother actually did. Yeah, bro, honestly, if Kathy learned that I ever did some shit like this, I don't think I'd ever see the light of day ever again. I think she'd just lock me in a cage in a basement, throw away the key. Like, chat, what do you think's happening here before we get to the update? My bold prediction, Ted is a much worse person than we think he is. Like, I almost wonder if Ted helped orchestrate this. We have the update. My mod did tell me to include a little bit of a trigger warning here. Apparently, there's a lot of not safe for work things that are about to happen in this update, so this is for the people in the live stream and for people on the video. You have been warned. If you want to dip out for that, come back to the stream later or skip in the video. Peegate update. Each section that is divided was written at different times throughout the last few days. I don't want to overwhelm you and make you wait with 6,000 edits. So here's the whole story. Okay, and they're broken up by little like brackets. Oh my God, there's an update part 2 as well. So I showed Ted the post as you guys suggested, and after reading some comments, Ted understood that he had done wrong by me, and that even though I was okay with it, it was still inappropriate of him and the whole family to be how they are. He apologized profusely for not demanding more from himself, his family, and his brother when the whole thing happened, and that Ash moving in with us was absolutely not gonna happen. Being an engineer too, he asked some professional contacts if there were any job opportunities for Ash. One of those contacts ended up being someone who works for the same company Ash did, and told Ted that Ash hadn't been fired, that he had quit, but that he was welcome to have his job back. Did bro quit his job so he could try to sabotage his brother's marriage? Ted went to confront Ash about this. In parentheses, we live a couple hours away. while I was at work. In parentheses, I work 2 jobs, one at night, 4 to 12 p.m., and 1 part-time job during the day because I want to, and it brings me joy, not because my husband is lacking in any way. And Ted found some stuff that started a chain of events and truth unveilings that, to be honest, just makes me sad more than anything else. Yeah, I know I'm being spineless again and should be outraged, but I'm just tired right now and want to just sleep, but I've gotten enough nice and hateful messages that I figured I'd owed you guys closure. Next section. I'm probably going to get crap for sharing all this, but right now I don't care. This is a resumed, yet still very long version of everything that happened since my original post. Oh my god. Okay, y'all, this is gonna get massively confusing for you guys on the video and probably still for me as the person reading it. Instead of assigning names, OP said B stands for brother of Ted's. If I say wife number X, please refer to the number of the brother, not that any of them have multiple wives. Okay, maybe that's actually better for tracking, but this is gonna get really fucking confusing so fast. Brother number 1, doctor with some type of military background. Wife, 3 kids. Brother number 2, surgeon. Wife, 2 dogs, and a bearded dragon. Oh god, there's gonna be so much to fucking follow in this. Oh my god. Why are you telling us how many fucking animals they have? Is the bearded dragon really relevant to the story? If the bearded dragon is relevant to the story, I'm gonna give 5 subs to you guys. Like, why? Brother number 3, engineer, fiance, and dog. Brother number 4, teacher and researcher. Wife, 1 kid. Brother number 5, question mark, question mark, question mark. Works in IT, not sure of the details. Wife. Brother number 6, doctor, single, and ready to mingle. Brother number 7, chef/businessman. Wife, 1 kid. Brother number 8, car sales. Wife, 3 kids. Fish. Not gonna crash out. Not gonna crash out. Why is it relevant to tell us he has fish? Okay, I'm sorry. I crashed out. My bad. Brother number 9, Ted. Wife and cat. Brother number 10, Ash. I am just begging for these parents to wear a condom. Please. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. Your kids sound pretty successful. Bravo. Props to you. 10 of them is insane. I lost track and I was fucking reading it. I sat down with Ted to talk about everything you pointed out. He apologized immensely. We cried together, promised to do and be better. As you are now all aware, his family is complicated and not rocking the boat was embedded into his heart. We both agreed to go to individual therapy, and if both therapists suggest we do couples, then we do couples therapy too. He ordered a t-shirt that says the most okayest human in the universe to cheer me up a bit. Yo, I'm trying not to laugh, but what the fuck? If I confronted my partner about being really shit and to cheer me up, they ordered a shirt that said the most okayest human being in the world, I would be like, dog, you corny straight off the cob. What the fuck? Like... Okay, we have to keep going. Anyway, Ted calls his connections and finds out Ash didn't quit, is pissed about all the drama this is causing, and goes to confront him. He goes to his place. Ash is not there. Ted has a key for emergencies. He goes in anyway and waits. He eventually has to go to the guest bathroom, and it's locked. So he goes into his room to use that bathroom and found a situation was the word he used when he told me. He called me, tells me to stay home and that he would be home later because he had to involve his family and didn't want to subject me to more than he already had, which had me thinking the worst. But at that point, I was scared and told him to come back soon and be safe. Oh my god, he's a serial killer. You don't have 10 kids and one of them doesn't turn out to be a serial killer, right? Oh my god. Okay. About 2 hours later, wife of brother number 8 calls me crying to ask if I'm okay. I say, I don't know. Ted just told me vaguely about the situation and I haven't heard since. She asks if I want to know, which I did, and then she starts off by apologizing, saying that they didn't know the whole story and that brother number 5 had read my post and called brother number 7 to complain about me sharing the story online. In parentheses, apparently having your brother-in-law pee on your stuff isn't common enough that he knew it was our family by reading it, / sarcasm. Brother number 7 reads the story and says there's a few things about my version of events that sounds off to him. He contacts brother number 2, who contacts their mom, and by this point, they've all read it. I did have some missed calls from brother number 6 and brother number 2 that I didn't answer because I was working. Anyway, as many of you guessed, the therapist part of Ash's story was sketchy. Turns out that the therapist he had been going to was a friend of his with 0 actual training and just pretended to be his therapist so his mom would get off his back about it. He faked going to therapy, which his mom paid for about 3 years. My mother-in-law found out and kept it a secret, which she excused by saying she had forgiven other brothers for worse. this mother-in-law is a terrorist. Fuck her. Also, I didn't even clock that about the therapist, but now that I think about it, because it said that the therapist recommended that he apologize to the brother, I didn't even clock that that would be an absolute dog shit therapist who wasn't able to identify that the real victim here was OP, not OP's husband. All of this came to light because brother number 2 confronted the mother-in-law about Ash not apologizing to me because they were under the false impression that he had apologized and I had forgiven him. In parentheses, since I have a track record of being a doormat and the fact that he was the best man, which is why they were pushing him to live with us. They also didn't know the territorial incident had been going on for months. They knew it was a few instances, but not as many as they actually were. Back to wife number 8. She tells me brother number 3, number 4, and number 8 were coming because Ted had asked for help, which freaked me out. And she tells me to talk to wife number 1 because she could use some support. I hang up, and Ted had been calling me while I was on the phone, and he just kept saying he's sorry and that his brothers will take care of everything. So I just tell him to spit it out, that I had just spoke with wife number 8, and that I didn't currently have the patience to be kept in the dark. Apparently, Ash has some mental issues and absolutely despises me, and had pictures of me on his bathroom covered both in pee and man juice. He apparently also had some of brother number 1's daughter, female 14. I honestly don't know what she did to him to deserve this. I mean, shit, bro, we were already on the castration train with this guy, but like, sealed the deal. Legalized castration. First one in line. Fucking Ash, bro. What the hell? Someone said firing squad. Don't disagree. Ted, disgusted and enraged with this, goes into the bedroom and finds in his nightstand photo books that were supposed to be at his parents', which you can take a wild guess whose photos were cut out and scratched off. All the comments about psychotic behavior were more accurate than I would have liked, which he drops out of disgust when he sees our wedding photo yellow stained. He goes to pick it up and the cat is under the bed frightened and malnourished. When he coerces her out, she is also covered in dry pee and man juice. Shoot him. Hear me out? Old Yeller style, back behind the barn. Walter White dissolving hydrofluoric acid or whatever they used in the show. Oh, God. I mean, to humans is insane, but to the cat too is just like, bro. At this point, brother number 6 calls him because I wasn't answering. Ted tells him what he found and that Ash is not home and that he had to take the cat to the vet. And brother number 6 tells him to stay there until they found out where Ash is. Okay, it's also wildly insane that Ash is gone and nobody's like, hey, maybe, just maybe, we should put somebody with OP. Like, OP is in danger. And the guy who is dangerous to her is missing. Why are we sending 3 brothers to the house? We need to be sending all brothers to OP's location. And while we're at it, let's fucking call the police, dog. They start calling each other. Brother number 1 is furious, threatening to K-word him because of the daughter. Only rational person in this entire story. Brother number 1, in parentheses, which is the reason he wasn't one of the ones to come. Now all of the brothers know, and there's a lot of feelings going around ranging from fury to concern, and they don't know where Ash is. Ted calls his mom to confront her about lying and covering and reuniting them, in parentheses, although she didn't know he was lying about the therapist when she reunited them. And she cried and said that she knew brother number 1 through number 8 had tormented Ash when he was little, and she had done nothing about it and failed as a mother, and that she had been trying to protect him now to make up for it. I mean, damn, bro. Holy shit. I do remember when we got married, my mother-in-law was very on top of Ash, and I just thought she was being motherly. Later, Ted told me he also remembers his mom asking if it was a good idea to have him as a best man, which we were both too naive to notice that that was odd, as she had always pushed Ted to be present in Ash's life, which she told him in their confrontation that the more present Ted was in his life, the more stable he was. She said she never told him because she didn't want to put that kind of pressure on Ted, and that by the time she had realized Ash had been lying, he seemed fine and had outgrown his issues. After hanging up on his mom, he called me to apologize and tell me all of this. I called out of my other job because there's no way I can go to work like this. I have a lot to think about, but I'll keep you posted. Surprise, surprise, the woman who thought it was a good idea to pump out 10 kids isn't a good mom. Like, we need to send some people in this story to jail. Ash and the mother-in-law. But also, where's the father-in-law in all this? Like, I guarantee bro barely knows the name of his kids, let alone whether or not they're good people. So, like, this is so fucking what the hell, bro. I think we just gotta keep going, you guys. There's so much story left. I called Ted and told him I was on my way there because someone has to take care of the cat. He said he didn't want me seeing any of that, but I'm honestly just worried about the cat. And at this point, I'm just numb and wanted to feel useful. Wait, no. Bro, have someone bring you the cat. The guy who wants to hurt you is AWOL. And he maybe knows that they're onto him. Like, he could have pulled up to his house, saw Ted's car, knew that Ted was in his house, and probably discovered all this shit and dipped. Why? About an hour into the drive, I got a notification from our Ring. In parentheses, the doorbell that records the people at your door, and it's a delivery of sunflowers, which are Ted's favorite flower. He is very secure in his masculinity. Please don't make this into a thing. I tell the delivery person to read me the card. In parentheses, with this type of doorbell, you can talk to the person at the door. And it's from Ash, saying something along the lines of, OP, me, did me dirty by sharing our problems online. Anything that comes from it will be on her. Police, immediately. What are we doing? I just broke down. I had to pull over and just cry my heart out. I called my neighbor to please take the flowers and throw them out and send Ted a picture. Am I crazy, y'all? We need to keep this shit for evidence, right? I just drove back to go to my sister's place because I honestly don't know what to do. File a police report. Please, I am begging you. I am so lost and all of this is so messed up. And I had a huge family before any of this happened. And I feel like I lost a lot of people who I love that I thought also thought of me as family. But not even in my sheltered version of the world can I see or justify any of all the things that are happening right now. And I don't want to lose my husband, and I'm worried about the cat, and I'm scared Ash is going to hurt himself or my husband. And I called wife number 1, and she is so scared for her daughter, and I don't want her to be scared. But I don't have it in me to console her because I'm just as scared. And I rationally know none of this is my fault, but I am the common point between everything that's happened, and I just don't know what to do. I mean, it sounds like he would have harbored hate towards brother number 1, no matter if you were in the picture or not, because that was because brother number 1 was mean to them as kids. That's what I would tell OP is like, hey, it's not all happening because you're the main touch point here. Like, I do believe Ash would have been a terrorist no matter what. Epstein would have loved this guy. No, fucking real, bro. Oh my God. Holy bejesus, for real. Bro, this story is scary, man. Like, the fact that people like this can exist is just terrifying. I'm okay, or as okay as a person can be in this type of situation. I'm at my parents' house and Ted is here, and he brought me my cat, and life sucks less with a cat on your lap. Where to start? You'll probably have 1,000 questions by this point, and I don't know how to answer any of them since I've just been waiting to post all of this. Maybe I won't post it at all and keep you all wondering. I will say both this situation and some of the messages I've gotten have made me lose some of my faith in humanity, but I guess that's part of what makes us human. I mean, I just think that's Reddit in 2021, 2020 when this post came out. Like, listen, if you're trying to be faithful in humanity, your place to go isn't Reddit. You want to know what's the worst part in all of this? I have legitimate PTSD, and I don't say that in a quirky way anymore. Every time I hear someone peeing, as in pee hitting the water, I get this sense of dread in my chest, and the world just becomes a bit staticky. Going to the bathroom myself has been a whole experience. I had my first therapy appointment, though. We luckily and tragically live in a world where you can just throw money and make anything happen. Thanks, Daddy, for paying for an emergency shrink. That was an update of how I'm doing since some of you have asked, but I'll get to the point and the reason why you're all here. What happened to Ash? After the flower delivery, I just couldn't deal with this anymore and made my way back to my sister's. Ted immediately left and came to me. Brother number 6 is the one coordinating everything else. Out of all of my brother-in-laws, he is my favorite. And I don't care if the others see this. Most of them have been trashed me at some point or the other, clearly number 10 taking the cake. I haven't had it in me to ask what's going to happen to Ash. I think he needs help above everything else. Brother number 1 clearly thinks differently, and I guess he's trying to get the police involved since his daughter is a minor. Honestly, yeah, brother number 1 should definitely do that. This is probably a really shitty thing for me to say, y'all, but I would tell OP, especially with what she said about like, this all seems to be revolving around me, like this is my fault, quote unquote, because I'm in the picture. To be honest, y'all, this is on brother number 1, because if we remember, brother number 1 was tormenting Ash, and because of that, Ash hates brother number 1, which is why he took it out on brother number 1's daughter, and then also why he's so possessive of Ted, because OP's mother-in-law, you know what? It's probably the mother-in-law's fault. Actually, just kidding. Mother-in-law is the source of all this fuckery. But like, you know, that's what mother-in-law was saying. That's why she pushed Ted and Ash so close. Yeah, she is the targeted victim, not the cause. Exactly. And I wish I could tell OP that. I hope somebody was telling OP that. I asked Ted to see the pictures. Brother number 2 said to document everything because I thought it would help. It did not. It just raised more questions. But hey, I have a therapist now that can talk me through them. I guess right now I don't have any more to say. I'm sorry to have wasted your time, but I'm sure this isn't over and I'll have more to say maybe later, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I just want to keep going, you guys. I think we need more information here. Next little update. Well, they found Ash. Brother number 3 and number 4 and number 8 showed up at his place and he was there this time. Apparently, he hadn't noticed Ted had been there and didn't know about the shitstorm that was coming. Punches were thrown, yelling, more punches, and one appointment to the ER later, Ash is currently in a psychiatric hold being evaluated for a myriad of things. Ted's mom keeps trying to get in touch. I don't know if it's to apologize or to inquire about what's happening because in general, everyone is mad at her. Thank God. If there's one thing they should do here, it's cut out the mother-in-law. But I'm done with her. I think this is the worst reality check a person could ever have, but I clearly have learned a lot about people and trust and families. All right, you know what? Only fat WW is they found Ash before Ash found OP. Or the brother number 1's daughter. From the information that we have, Ted's mom seems to have been right about something. Ted not being actively present in his brother's life is what brought on his madness. I guess with the pandemic and us keeping our distance, it's what started his decline. He'll have to work through that with however many methods of coping they provide him because Ted has cut off about half of his family. Hopefully this time forever, since I really don't see either of us getting over this anytime soon. I mean, shit, it better be forever. Like, you should not stay with him if it's not forever. I'm honestly still dubious about if you should stay with him. Oh no, no! Ash's cat unfortunately didn't make it. That's something that I will forever feel guilty about. At some point in the last year, she developed some type of kidney problem that went untreated, and while she was being abused and neglected, it became too late to help her. Hang Ash. That's so awful, man. The vet said that after everything he was hearing, in parentheses, because the people at the vet were calling the police on brother number 4 for animal abuse, and he had to kind of explain some of the situation, she was not going to make it without suffering, and he decided to put her down. I really hope they're pushing this case forward. Like, that's fucking insane. Apparently, the thing with brother number 1's daughter was about his severe bullying when they were younger. He never actually had much contact with her. It was about getting back at number 1 in the way he knew best. His daughter is going to be attending therapy just in case. Oh, you guys, I'm trying to decide if it's better that the daughter was told about this. Like, is it bad that, like, my initial instinct, and maybe this is wrong, would be like, why the fuck would you tell the daughter about all this? Better that she doesn't find out later / from someone else? You might be right, Kitten Mittens. I don't know. That's a lot of burden to put on the shoulders of a 14-year-old. But also, like, if you're worried that the 14-year-old's kind of in danger, it's probably better for them to know that they're in danger. I don't know. I don't think I'm qualified to answer this. I can't even lie. They're going to spend millions on therapy bills for the whole family. I think this family is literally single-handedly gonna fund the therapy industry. Yeah, how do you explain this mess to a kid? That's what I'm wondering. I want to clarify, like, that was just my initial reaction. I don't know or think that I'm completely right in saying that you should hide it from them, but like, I don't know, man. Ignorance is bliss is coming to my mind right now. Like, even if she found out later, I feel like at least when you're like, I don't know, even 18 would be pretty young. I don't know. I just think that's hard when you're 14, bro. Oh, she has to know so she can say something if something happened. That's such a good point, Bouncy Ball. You're totally right. Bouncy Ball cooked. I don't know what or how much they told her, but I assume they had to ask her questions about her contact with Ash, and eventually they would have had to explain why they were asking. I should have just kept fucking reading, bro. It's okay, I have Bouncy Ball. That's basically better than anything I could read in a Reddit post ever. I guess that's about it. I'm not leaving my husband. I'm not peeing on anybody's property. I'm going to therapy, and I made it very clear to absolutely everyone that I will never have any of them living with us for any reason. I don't care if the Pope is with them. I just feel like I lost that part of me that cared. I guess all in all, I still did not receive that apology, but to be honest, I don't want it either. Perhaps my therapist will convince me otherwise, or perhaps it's for the best. But for now, I guess I'll just, I don't know, deal with it as I can. Holy shit. And we have more, bro. Like, there's more update. I didn't know that this one was so fucking jam-packed, bro. Holy shit. Peegate update 2, the sequel. My therapist recommended writing an order to organize my feelings and help me process what happened. And since some of you have shown interest, I guess this is as good of a diary as any. I figured a post update would be a little bit easier to read for those curious of what happened next in the P-Man saga. It's been almost 2 weeks since I first opened the Pandora's box that is my husband's family, and you all know how that went. I will be forever grateful to Reddit and all of you for helping me see there were things that needed to be talked about and looked into, even if it did end up turning my life into a pee show. I see what you did there, not shit show, pee show. I also don't know how the Twitter people ended up here, but I want to thank you all the same for the support. A lot of the people ask me the same questions, so here are the answers. My husband, my brothers-in-law, and I. Right now, I don't really have it in me to deal with any of them except for number 6. He has always been my favorite, and in general, we should have taken a cue from him and distance from the family. He truly has been the most supportive and apologetic about the whole ordeal. I did talk to number 1 and his wife to offer my help in whatever way I could, and they politely declined, telling me I had done enough. I hope that they didn't mean it as rude as reading that came off to be. Like, do you think they blame OP for all of this instead of the real fucking problem, which is their brother who's peeing on everything? I don't know if they meant it backhandedly or honestly, but I'm still keeping my distance from all of them. Most of the other brothers apologized for everything. Some owned up to their parts in this messed up situation, and some owned up to their past behaviors. I think this whole family is going to be financing the psychology field for a while. I did recommend that everyone should go to therapy because as much as I was the one who started it, this is something that affects the family as a whole. My mother-in-law. Some kind Redditors pointed out that she had probably been manipulated/abused her whole life. And I'm not denying or agreeing with that, but know that she did have a complicated life. We are no contact with her from here on out until the end of time, since she called to berate us for breaking up her family. Her words were something along the lines of, "I have worked for years in order to have the lot of you together. I have forgiven every single thing each of you has ever done." In parentheses, talking to my husband? Wait, what did your husband do? "And this is how you repay me, by letting a little bitch get in the way of our family." So there's that. Damn, even till the end, she's still enabling the fuck out of her family. Like, dude, you forgiving every single thing that your sons do is allowing for them to not be held accountable for their actions. Oh, the way this dumbass can't see that. I will say, I am very curious about this line about her being manipulated and abused. Guys, do you remember the father-in-law being brought up like at all? I genuinely don't think I've even heard anything about the father-in-law. Yeah, she did have 10 kids, so like he exists, but where is he in all this? Is he dead? I'm so fascinated by this chat. Ted, my husband, he's handling everything as best as he can. He is also in therapy and working through his feelings. He keeps apologizing over and over, and in general, I think seeing what his best bud did to me because of him will haunt him for a while. We read all of your comments together, and as much as he appreciates his redemption, he says he doesn't feel he's earned it and that he has years to make up for. That's probably the only good thing he's said or done in this entire story. Like, yeah, I agree with that, and I'm glad he's acknowledging it. He also told me he understood if I wanted to divorce him, that he couldn't live knowing his family had done this to his wife. I politely declined as I still love him very much and know that this is not his fault. We'll see how therapy goes for him. Ted's still on the hot seat, but like open to therapy, taking accountability for his actions. I feel like we've had people who have had much worse reactions, you know? I feel like that's a good start. Where is Ash right now? He is still in psychiatric hold. He did ask to see Ted. That was a big no-no, and of course Ted declined. He did write him a letter though. I don't know what it says, nor do I want to know. But Ted assured me that I would never have to see him again. After it is considered safe, he will be transferred to the West Coast where the rest of the family can deal with him. We have washed our hands of him forever. That has to be another P joke, right? Brother number 3 is the one who has been in charge of his care, and he thinks moving him far away from us is what's best for everyone. I hope that's also far away from brother number 1's daughter. Like, I'm still scared for her. Ted and him have been talking about the doctor's reports, but I haven't wanted to ask, and that's okay. Taking a break. As many of you suggested, we took a break. I quit one of my jobs and I've been doing the other one for my... Oh, guys, I'm running the fucking music. Ah! Damn, chat. You guys couldn't even help me, bro. You guys couldn't even help me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. That's on me. I'm a fucking idiot. Taking a break. As many of you suggested, we took a break. I quit one of my jobs and have been doing the other one from my dad's beach condo. Ted is using some of his vacation time and his boss has been very understanding. It is the middle of January, so it's not particularly nice outside, but looking at the water is soothing and being away from all the crazy is nice. I got a new phone, so his family couldn't contact me anymore, and it's been nice just being the 3 of us. In parentheses, cat goes where I go, for a couple of days. Future actions. I got an order of protection in the meantime. I don't know what precautions brother number 1 is taking for his daughter. I do know he made her get rid of social media though. Okay, not saying that social media is like the healthiest thing in the world, but like that seems like a punishment for the daughter. Resilience Age, I know she's still a minor, but like a lot of minors have social media, so the brother can't access the photos. I mean, I guess, but like if he wanted photos, he could get them. I just think that punishes the daughter. Lightning McQueen, you could just private it if that's the case. That's how I feel. I don't know, man. Y'all already know I don't fuck with brother number 1. Him and the mother-in-law low-key might be why this all is happening, to be honest. If any further legal action is to be taken, that will have to come from them. We are also moving. I don't know where to, but neither of us feels like our place is home anymore. We'll start looking at houses closer to my family in the next few weeks. What's behind door number 2? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there were no human body parts and meat hooks in the locked bathroom. Oh shit, I forgot there was another locked bathroom. There was, however, more of what was found in the master bathroom. I do not think he is a serial killer in the making, just very mentally disturbed with unhealthy coping mechanisms and very unhealthy emotional attachments, but I am not a professional and cannot help him. Girl, didn't he send flowers to your house with a very threatening message about you? I don't know, man. If somebody's one step away from serial killer, it's the guy who takes his anger out on people by peeing on their stuff and pictures of them. Oh, and also releasing his man nut on them. I don't know. I think that's too much grace. Me personally, I would be operating under the assumption that this man had serial killer intentions. Oh, and the cat. Thank you for reminding us, Loaf Cat. That's the worst of all. Like, don't get me wrong, the human thing is bad, but like, it was a literal living cat and the cat fucking died. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that's the one thing that hurt me the most in this entire story, bro. I do think one Redditor had a very valid point of him hating women or viewing us as less, as he only did his thing towards women, in parentheses me, my niece, and Sunny, his cat. But again, not a professional, so I cannot comment more on it. How am I doing? Some days have been better than others. I've had therapy every other day. Thank you to the Redditors who suggested going to the bathroom with headphones / a white noise machine. That was very helpful. My sisters are taking turns to come visit, so we have someone with us for a couple hours in case we need anything. The backstory. Many people inquired about the type of bullying that they did to him in his childhood to justify this kind of messed upness. So here is Ted's statement on that. When you grow up with 8 brothers who are much older than you grow up to be very vulnerable to criticism, to comparisons, to expectations. Our brothers had many years when it was just them, and when the opportunity arose to take it out on someone else, he was the most vulnerable. I'm not trying to justify anyone's actions, nor am I defending anyone, but there were some things that even I couldn't protect him from, that now as an adult, I can see how messed up they were, and with everything that has happened, I know my brothers have too. We all have demons we are fighting, and we've been fighting our whole lives. We did not have a supportive family. Everything was buried under the rug instead of providing help, and that made us grow up disconnected from reality, from what is proper, and from what is healthy. Some of us have learnt better thanks to our wives, jobs, and life experience. All of us have a lot to learn still, but we cannot change the past. Just own up to our mistakes and faults and try to be better tomorrow. Maybe I'm being too much of an asshole to Ted, but like that response seemed like it was written by a PR company. It was very like, I cannot confirm nor deny, but what I can say is it's a very complex situation and we've gotten better. I almost wonder if something like really messed up happened to Ash at the hands of the oldest brother, if not all of the brothers. If it was like, yeah, we used to like isolate him and make fun of him all the time because he was the youngest one, that's very different from, it's complex. We were boys. We had demons we were fighting and fighting for our whole lives. Like, this is all pure speculation, but TLCNZ said, I reckon they peed on him. I'm kind of wondering how he came to the conclusion that the way you emasculate someone or you take your anger out on someone is by peeing on them. I have no evidence, but I'm not really happy with this statement from the husband. Miscellaneous, a few random things that popped up. So I'm guessing a bunch of commenters asked, why did no one check on the cat before? We didn't have a reason to. Sunny, the cat, was not particularly social. So when they video called during quarantine, it made sense not to see her. We didn't go visit anyone during the pandemic, so we didn't know the state his things were going to be in. And before the pandemic, he was fine. His house was fine and the cat was fine. I don't know how we were supposed to know any of this was happening to go check on the cat or how we could have prevented it from happening. I'm sorry I failed an innocent cat and I will be forever guilty that I couldn't help her. I mean, like during COVID, you weren't supposed to hang out with these people. So like, I see what she's saying. It would be very easy to hide over a Zoom call. Looks like another commenter asked about what are the odds of there being 10 sons and 3 of them being able to drop everything and go to the other side of the country. There weren't always 10 sons? Wait a damn minute. OP just says there weren't always 10 sons and then just continues to talk not about that. What do you mean there weren't always 10 sons? Oh, you guys are thinking maybe one of them transitioned? I was thinking like, was there 11 and 1 died? Was there a sister in this mess that somehow died? That is such a suspicious statement. And OP doesn't address it. This is how the rest of the paragraph goes. As for them dropping everything to come, I don't know what answer you want. That they identified how messed up the situation was? That their spouses could deal without them for a couple of days, that they were able to take a day off work and come, That their brother asked for help and they were able to help? I honestly don't know what you want from me with those questions. Yeah, that is a weird question. Like 3 people being able to drop everything and go to the other side of the country. Like it's a pretty normal ratio. 3 out of 10. Like 3 of them gotta have PTO or understanding bosses. Like it's kind of a dumb question. But now I'm really fucking curious, bro. What the hell does this mean? Oh, were some maybe adopted in? I feel like OP would have mentioned that. Apparently other commenters were asking, how didn't you see it coming? There had to be signs. You would have to ask their family. As you already know, I'm not in good terms with them right now. And Ted says there were none that he noticed, but that his perception might be biased since they were so close, and that he might have either been oblivious to it or thought it was normal. So that's where my life is now. I'm tired and sad. Things still suck, but I also have things to look forward to and a very nice therapist who constantly reassures me that I am okay and safe now, and is teaching me how to be normal again. Sorry for the very long update, and please know that I'm very grateful for all of your kindness and taking the time to read through my misadventures. Oh, their edit seems to address the 10 brother thing. Edit. I'm sorry I wasn't clearer about the 10 brother thing. Apparently, I might have caused some confusion. What I meant to say is that there weren't always 10 sons only. It is not my family or my story to tell. From what I know, they used to have 3 sisters. 2 of them died when they were little because of health issues. This is why there's a gap between 1 and 8, and then Ted and Ash. The other one is a bit more complicated than that. She used to be between brother number 4 and number 5. Yes, I'm aware they had a lot of children. They did not believe in contraceptives to this day. Sorry about the confusion. Wait, so are you saying she also died too? Bro, 1 is a coincidence. 2 is a pattern. 3 is a... Somebody called the FBI immediately. They are killing off their daughters. Girl, what? Is this all we got, bro? Is that where bro left us? Chat, there's 3 more updates. No, 4. I can't fucking count. There are fucking 4 more updates. What the actual fuck? Holy fucking shit! Oh my god. Okay. Wow. I feel like I should be paying this person. Like they wrote a whole novel. Like, girl, just put this into a PDF and sell it on Amazon at this point. Stamp it a biography, because what the hell? Y'all, my want drama read Reddit brain is like, hell yeah, we get more information. My empathize with human beings brain is like, bro, there's fucking more to this? This poor fucking woman, bro. Like I said, y'all, this family can be single-handedly funding the therapy industry for like 5 years. Like they're probably still funding it right now. Peegate Update 3, affectionately titled by OP as Tokyo Drift. First of all, I'd like to apologize for taking so long to update. I know there's a lot of people very curious about everything that's happening with Ted's family, but I just needed some time to process things. But here I am sharing yet another miserable piece of this story, so you can all be in peace. Oh, well, when you put it that way, OP, like, shit, bro. I mean, I guess it's 5 years ago, so, like, I wasn't the one demanding it, but, like, damn, when you put it that way, I'm a fucking bad person. I'd also like to welcome the Facebook people. I appreciate people telling me where they're coming from, because I didn't know the power of Reddit before I made my first Am I the A-hole post. Anyway, Ted asked me for time apart. He himself is going through a lot of things and has a lot of feelings that me being with him makes worse. He has a lot of guilt, and opening so many closets with skeletons and facing them is a lot to ask of anyone. We're not officially divorced, but we are not looking for new houses together either. We are still in the process of selling our old place, so he's been staying there while I stay with my parents. I don't know what's going to happen once the sale of our place is finalized or what he wants to do, but I promised him space. So yeah, there's that. He did give me permission to update you all because despite some hateful messages and comments, most of you are incredibly sweet and helpful. Fucking hold on, bro. Hold on. Where was the part where it was talking about what Ted was gonna do and like him going to therapy? I need that part. Oh, here. Okay. I don't know. I get it, but as we've seen a lot in this Reddit thread, I would really like to hear what OP needs. Because if OP was on board where she was like, I also think time apart would be good for me, I don't necessarily have a problem with this. But low key, if OP thinks that she needs Ted right now, I think this is a little cowardly. I could be so wrong for that, chat. And like, we could probably argue that it's maybe a good thing that they're separated. But something about this feels very cowardly. OP clearly wanted to keep Ted in her life, and in a lot of ways feels like she needs Ted in her life, and then Ted fucking dipped on her. OP is bulldozing her own feelings. I totally agree with that. She's not sharing what she needs. I also think OP is not harboring as much resentment for Ted as I think she should be. Ooh, Monica's predicting he's gonna have a relationship with his mom. Oh my God. Bro, if that's where this story's going, I'm gonna put my head through a wall. If he chooses mommy over his own fucking wife that his mommy has ruined her life, I might crash out. Here's the breakdown of Ted's family tree, updated, counting the sisters. B stands for brother of Ted's, S stands for sister. Brother number 1, doctor with some type of military background, wife, 3 kids. If she includes the fucking bearded dragon again, I'm gonna lose my shit. Brother number 2, surgeon, wife, 2 dogs and a bearded dragon. If this bearded dragon doesn't come up as important in the story, I'ma lose it. You don't have to include that they have a bearded dragon. Listen, for anybody out there listening to this story, if you're gonna post something like this, you don't need to include the bearded dragon. I don't know why this is fucking pissing me off, bro. It's just like more information to remember that is not relevant at all. But I don't know, maybe the bearded dragon is the one causing this dude to pee on everything. Maybe I'm wrong. Brother number 3, engineer, fiance, and dog. Brother number 4, teacher and researcher, wife, 1 kid. Now is sister number 1 between brother number 4 and number 5. Brother number 5, question mark, question mark, question mark, works in IT, not sure of the details, wife. Brother number 6, doctor, single, and ready to mingle. Brother number 7, chef / businessman, wife, 1 kid. Brother number 8, car salesman, wife, 3 kids, fish. Okay, so this is where sister number 2 and 3 pop in. So sister number 2 and 3 were pretty young. They're between brother number 8 and number 9. So they're a little bit older than Ted, because that's whose brother number 9 is Ted. OP added in parentheses, might be ex-wife and cat. And then brother number 10 is Ash. I didn't just randomly throw in the sisters to add a little bit of spice to the fucked up situation I'm living through. Sorry to disappoint. I didn't count them before because, well, I don't mean to be insensitive to anyone who has lost family members, but I'm going based on what I know of that family. All 3 sisters were born and died before Ted was even conceived. There hasn't been a single second of his life when he's had living sisters. So he doesn't say he has sisters, he only says he has brothers. So I don't count them because to me and him, he doesn't have any sisters. I'm probably not the authority piece on this. I don't know. The only experience I have with this is I have a friend whose older brother died during childbirth. And I know that she still goes to his grave every birthday of his. So I guess that's always been my norm of like, hey, if you have a sibling that maybe you never met, like I'm guessing your family would still raise you to like treat that sibling as if they existed, not as if they didn't exist. I could be wrong about that, but I also don't feel like I'm wrong about that. The way the family is pumping out kids, maybe they forgot. Honestly, bro, you actually might be right. They're like, we don't even know how many we have at this point. We're just pumping them out like fucking candy, man. You guys are wild. The theories you came up with, in parentheses, some more accurate than others, vary from completely reasonable to undeniably insane. But based on what you, in parentheses, and I know of this family, insane runs in the family. Anyway, no, they weren't all murdered. Sisters number 2 and 3 were twins and died of a birth defect. My bad for saying genetic. I don't know why a lot of people assumed it would be something specific only to women. Their lungs weren't developed properly or something along those lines. That's all Ted knows, and as you know, I'm not on speaking terms with his family to ask more questions. And they died a couple weeks after being born while still in the hospital, so no chance of any of the brothers doing anything to them. Okay, I'm not saying that that isn't necessarily true. However, this information is coming from Ted, who got it from his parents. And we already know from this story that the parents haven't been the most truthful here. At least the mother-in-law. The father-in-law is AWOL, no fucking clue where he fits in this story, but at least the mother-in-law, at this point, if I'm getting any information from the mother-in-law, no matter how trustworthy it seems, I'm gonna doubt it. Me personally. Like, I might be an asshole for that, but at this point, I can't give this family the benefit of the doubt, honey. As for sister number 1, she died in a motorcycle accident when one of the brothers was driving while intoxicated while underage. Why didn't I just say that up front? Because it's none of my or your business. It wasn't relevant to our situation, and I honestly think people deserve privacy. So I'm not telling you which brother it was either, so you can choose whichever you want to fit the narrative. Fam, you are hitting the fucking nail on the head. It seems pretty damn fucking relevant, especially if it's brother number 1 or if it's Ash. That being said, there was no timeline on this. Seems like there's a big gap between sister number 1 and Ash, but I think it's relevant. Yeah, you guys keep saying it like your bet's on 1. So is mine. Listen, all I'm gonna say is OP is conveniently leaving things out of the stories that make this family sound worse, and she's like defending them. Like, girl, this family did you so dirty. And to be honest, you might not even be a part of this family anymore. We gotta figure it the fuck out, sis. Like, please. Sisters all died before Ted or Ash were born. Did they clarify that it was all of the siblings? I thought she just clarified that it was sisters number 2s and 3s. Oh no, you're right. All 3 sisters were born and died before Ted was even conceived. Okay, so it can't be Ash or Ted, which is nice. Holy shit, this family has skeletons in closets though. My God. Do we know the mom is mentally sound? Absolutely not. I would put money that they're not, bro. A lot of people have been asking about the dirty secrets their mom forgave them for. I'll share the ones I can and have permission to share. I'm not giving out which number brother did what, just number 7 because I had already shared that, so there's no point hiding it now. I just copied and pasted the comment I made then. Okay, and I'm guessing that's this that I'm about to read. There's 10 brothers total. Brothers 1 through 4 are your stereotypical older brother, golden child, straight A students. So brothers 5 and under were used to having to live up to expectations the oldest 4 had set up. It was expected that all of them excelled at a sport, had good grades, go to college on some type of scholarship because paying for 10 kids' colleges is hard, and have a career. Brother number 7 didn't want to. He's a brilliant guy. He just thought it unfair that his life was dictated by competing against his brothers. So when he graduated high school, he said he was studying abroad to become a chef, but that his scholarship would only cover partial tuition and no room and board. So his parents were super proud that their son was studying abroad to become a well-known international chef. That they said, okay, as long as you can keep up good grades and cook us your signature dishes when you come home for the holidays and stuff. So he moved to New York with 4 roommates and faked his international life. He is not one to use social media much, so he didn't have to prove anything. And he just had to make sure to call his parents at hours that made sense with the time difference. And since this was before technology had advanced much, he didn't have to video call them or anything. He just made up some really good stories to tell during holidays. He kept the money he was receiving from his parents to pay his tuition and board and invested in something which ended up making him a lot of money. So then he moved back to the West Coast and said he was managing restaurants now. It all came to light when one of the oldest brother's daughters said she wanted to go to the same school that brother number 7 had, and if he could take her there and show her around. And by that point, he had enough money that there weren't many repercussions to be had. But he still is the one to cook Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner because he does cook rather well. Okay, brother number 7 a boss? That's kind of sick. I don't fuck with lying to your entire family, but like, I see why he did it. So here's the list of things I know, in parentheses, because Ted, their mom, or the brother in question had told me that they did with 0 repercussions from their parents. 1, stealing and totaling at least 2 cars. In parentheses, same brother both times. 2, stealing a car. Different brother. 3, leaving grandma alone for the week when they were supposed to care for her. 4, stealing and selling things from the house and other brothers. 5, getting into fights that ended up with police involved. 6, getting into fights that did not end up with the police involved, but did end up with a trip to the hospital. 7, skipping school events, in parentheses, like senior trip and things like that, and pocketing the money. 8, public nudity, public indecency, public urination. In parentheses, I guess it does run in the family, question mark. All right, I mean, I can't even clown that one because I've definitely like peed outside a bar before. I've definitely like streaked on my college campus. So like, I don't know. Do with that what you will, I guess. 9, one stalking incident that ended up with a restraining order. Wait a damn minute. Chad, I feel like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like sitting in the chair and he's like, whoop. That one. Let's investigate that one. What do you mean? Yeah, someone said that one was Ash for sure. That has to be Ash. The only reason I think the urinating one isn't Ash is because OP clarified, I guess it does run in the family, which I think means that it's somebody other than Ash. Crazy, bro. Fuck, I forgot what number we were on, but number whatever. Plenty of underage drinking. Can't blame him for that one. And the last one, plenty of driving under the influence. Ooh, that's a no-no. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to switch the screen. Oopsies, I'm a dumbass. I literally read like the last 2 right here. But y'all, finally what we've been fucking waiting for. Where is the dad? Well, last I saw him, he was in an urn in the living room of their mom's house. So hopefully he's still there. Oh, damn. Growing up, he was an ass, incredibly misogynistic, and an abusive father and husband. He was a decent grandfather to his grandkids, but take it up with them if you want to say anything about why would you expose your children to such a horrible human. I don't have children of my own. Dude, this family is so fucked, man. Just everything. Like, the dad was probably abusing the mom and the kids. The mom was abusing the kids. The kids were abusing the kids. And they have 3 mysterious deaths. Being born into this family is just a fucking ride and a half, man. You guys are saying it like only mysterious girl deaths, no mysterious boy deaths. Like, that's suspicious. That's weird. Ted's parents were, and mother-in-law still is, very traditional, and appearances are the only thing that matters to them. Having a perfect family with prideful sons and beautiful daughters is all they wanted. And they kind of failed on that last one. I'm not justifying anything, but the loss of their daughters did affect them and the family greatly. Why did they have 2 more kids after everything that happened? They really wanted a daughter again and tried 2 more times before being unable to have any more kids. I don't know if they would have kept trying or if the fact that she's unable to have more children made things worse. What happened to Ash? I don't know. I'd like to say I don't know, don't care, but I do care from a human standpoint. After being in therapy, I feel a little bit more empathetic at this point, and I know he is sick. So I do care and hope he's okay and will be able to heal and move forward. I just wish that to happen very, very far away from me. I don't know if he's still institutionalized or not, but I do have it in good authority that he's staying far away from me. I'm trying to think, chat. Is ignorance bliss here, or is it like you kind of always got to keep tabs on this guy? Like, what's stopping him from having another psychotic breakdown and then immediately directing his anger to, oh, this woman ruined my family and my life? So that's that for the family. Hopefully this answers all your questions about them. As always, a big shout out to brother number 6 for being great. He's been very supportive throughout everything, and in general, he's a good guy and still single and ready to mingle if anyone is interested. In parentheses, he made me emphasize that when I told him I was updating again. I mean, maybe he was just trying to slide a little, hey, yo, girl, I'm single, ready to mingle, and not evil like the rest of my brothers. Bro, that would be insane. Sorry, that's probably not gonna happen, but like, what if, you know? So if anyone on the West Coast is looking for a cute doctor with a crazy messed up family, he's your guy. Tortilla, which is OP's cat, has very much appreciated all the love, affection, and praise. As I mentioned in a comment at some point, I'm sorry for not paying the cat tax, but right now I'm not comfortable sharing pictures of anything, including Tortilla, with anyone. Nothing against you personally, just me being insecure after everything that's happened. So I do apologize for that. Since I'm committing tax evasion, I don't know how that applies to this, but okay. Since I'm committing tax evasion, I will tell you she's a black cat. She's named Tortilla because I'm not great at cooking, and the first time I made Ted tacos, I completely forgot the tortillas were in the oven and got completely charred. Kind of cute. Oh, cat tax evasion. Thank you, guys. I was like, you know what? Queen shit, you evade those taxes, but I was also like, how does that apply? As for me, well, everything sucks and everything will continue to suck for a bit, but that's just life. I had to quit my job after already quitting my other job. So I'm currently unemployed and freeloading at my parents', but my dad says he doesn't mind. He just wants me to be okay, and I love him because of that. It's nice having my sisters around and even more cats to play with Tortilla. I'm still in therapy, which is basically all I can do with my life right now. On the bright side, I am sure none of these cats have ever been brushed as much as they've been these past few weeks, so they're all extra shiny and handsome. Honestly, WOP, brushing those cats. Kind of reminds me, I need to brush Beans. Bro is shedding. I'm gonna help him. Dude, I can't believe there are 3 more updates after this. My thoughts. I think we're gonna get an update about if Ted divorces OP or not. Low-key, I still think Ted would be a coward, but also, I actually think it's the best thing for OP. I think stuff is gonna happen that requires OP to tell us more about which brothers committed which crimes, because I think that's very important. I don't like that OP was hiding that from us, especially the one that we were like, hey, yo, I think there's more here. Not gonna lie, I felt a little gate kept. Maybe the bearded dragon did something. You know what, lover girl? You're right. That bearded dragon sus as fuck. Plot twist, the bearded dragon killed the sisters. Dun, dun, dun. The last update we read was Friday, March 5th, 2021. And the one we're about to read is Thursday, December 9th, 2021. So it's been a fat minute. March to December. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 9 months. Peegate update number 4 coming in 9 months later, titled by OP, Return to P-Town. I've written so many updates throughout the year. Some while happy, some while sad, some while drunk, but decided against posting them, trying to give you a proper end to the Peegate saga. But I realized real life doesn't have a proper end. There will always be more things happening. Hopefully this will be the end of it for all of us, and I can move on, and you'll get the satisfaction of how things ended up to date. I truly hope you do. I also hope writing this and giving it to you brings me the closure that I need to. Chat, there's 2 more really fucking long updates after this. Like, oh shit. Unfortunately, all that hoping was in vain. I'm writing this update now, since I'm in a good enough place right now to open up and appease my guilt about the lack of updates. It's really nice of most of you who have checked on me throughout the year. It's crazy to me that it's been almost a year and there's still new messages and kind words filling my inbox. I'm sorry if I haven't replied, but please know that I read every single message, and it warms my heart that there's so many lovely people out there wishing a random stranger such kindness. I'll admit, a part of me is always afraid of writing an update. Part of it comes from the real life repercussions of publishing things online, like being identified, which I have been. The other part is also the finality of it. It's odd, but I kind of feel like if I don't tell you guys about it, then I can just pretend it's not real. It's not particularly healthy, and my therapist has pointed it out, so I'm putting on my, in parentheses, cat hair covered, big girl pants and facing the facts. It's a little crazy to think that this all started just a few days into the new year and just how close we are to the new year again. I remember spending New Year's Eve curled on the couch with Ted and Tortilla, wishing for 2021 to be a year filled with adventures and excitement. I guess I better watch my wishes for this upcoming year. I mean, I guess you got excitement, but not the good kind. I don't even know what I'll do that day. Perhaps I'll pack Tortilla and we'll go on an adventure, since I certainly don't plan on just staying on the couch reminiscing about the pea show of a year we've had. I will admit though, it was a damn comfy couch and I miss it terribly. I love Ted. I think a part of me will always love him. I spent a long time, an important period of my life with him, that it just feels weird to not have him in my day-to-day life. Short story, he asked me for a divorce, so there's that. It was as amicable as a divorce under our circumstances can be. We cried during the whole process. He called me to ask for forgiveness. I begged him not to leave me, but ultimately, as much as it hurt, it's what he needed to heal from everything that's happened. Hey Beans, trying to read, buddy. Can't read with your butthole in my face. We're still friends. We've been best friends for so long that even if that aspect of our relationship is closed off, we are still here for each other. I'm questioning his motives. Me personally, I'm curious if he still has a relationship with his mom. Is he doing this because of how he feels or because he doesn't want to let go of mommy? I know you're not here to hear about my heartbreak and you probably just want the hot goss and juicy details, so I'll share what information I have. Just bear in mind that now that we're split, I'm not privy to a lot of things. I'll break things apart into sections so it's a little bit easier to read, but it won't be in chronological order just to keep things organized. Hello, sweet boy. Bro, it's swinging that tail, huh? Do you want to hang out on my lap? You can hang out on my lap, and that'll be so cute. Here, I'll move my chair down a little bit for you. Oh, come here, sweet boy. There's just such a good spot for you on my lap. I can't move him on my lap, chat, or else he'll, like, not want it. Beans, I gotta read. Schwam. That's a good boy. Oh, no, he doesn't want it. All right. You just want to harass me and put your butthole in my face? Is that what we're doing today? Hi, buddy. He said, Dad, this isn't stream time. It's pay attention to Beans time. I have his hair in my mouth. Oh my God, it's everywhere. You're shedding so much. I got a handful of beans, bro. Ooh, you gonna sit next to me while I read? Hi. Hey, buddy. Okay. Can I read and pet you at the same time? Is that acceptable behavior, Beans? Pet and read. Okay. OP's ex's family. Oh my. Brother number 8. I haven't heard from him since the divorce, but prior to that, I know they adopted a kitten. His name is Bob. Brother number 7. No idea. Haven't heard from them. Haven't asked. Oh shit! Brother number 6 and his girlfriend. Chat, if you don't remember, brother number 6 is the only one that OP liked. He is not single or ready to mingle anymore. I'm really happy for him, and his new girl is truly amazing. She is a fellow Redditor and had read the Peegate Saga and loves him still, even with his messed up family. I've met them a few times throughout the year and she truly is lovely. Of course, they have their ups and downs and issues with the other brothers, but overall, they're doing great. Can you imagine if you stumbled upon the shit show that is the Peegate Saga, and then you went and started dating somebody in that family? And I'm trying to remember, chat, because OP kind of like advertised for this guy. Like, do y'all think that maybe she went like full Reddit stalker and like found bro? Oh my God, guys. I'm just trying to show them how much hair of yours I got. Look at that. Look at the hair. Hey! Guys, look how much beans I got from petting him. Look at all that beans hair, bro. Brother number 6 actually came to visit me after Ted asked me for a divorce. He hugged me and told me that I would always be his little sister no matter who I was married to or not married to. It's been incredibly bittersweet to lose my husband and half of what I considered my family, but at least I got to keep a brother, in parentheses, since I only have sisters. Brother number 5 and his wife. He has never liked me and I finally found out why. He isn't particularly fond of Ted. As you know, the brothers were not nice at all when growing up, and apparently number 5 was the worst of the lot and didn't like it when Ted would stand up to him or defend Ash, and hasn't liked him since they were little. I've had zero contact with him, nor do I intend to. Brother number 4, they have stayed pretty much the same. They were always nice. Brother number 4 did ensure that Ash was in all of the do not adopt lists of any shelter, shop, or vet around the area where they live. He says that even if he does great for the rest of his life, that he is not risking another cat, in parentheses, or any other animal, going through the same thing if his mental health declines. So at least I left that family with the reassurance that future cats will be protected from Ash, which honestly did make me feel a little bit better. There's always a chance he'll get a stray or someone will adopt one for him, but brother number 4 reassured me that he'd do anything in his power to make sure it didn't happen again. Okay, W brother number 4. Brother number 3 and his now wife. They got married. When the saga started, they were just engaged. It was a really nice ceremony that I did not attend, even though both bride and groom said that I was welcome and should come, as I was family. Ted said he wanted me to come, but I honestly did not want to ruin any more family pictures. I mean, I wouldn't look at it like that. If anything, I think it'd be funny to ruin one of their family pictures, but like, I think distancing yourself from this family is the best bet. I did attend through Zoom though. That's how I know it was nice. Brother number 2. This is the motherfucker with the bearded dragon. Brother number 2 was really helpful when everything happened and was one of the first to take action. He apologized profusely to me, both for the original pressure of letting Ash move in, then for what happened. And he was specifically apologetic on the role he played in his brother's mental health. I thanked him for the first 2 and told him the third one wasn't mine to accept. He was understanding and said that he'd work on helping his family's relationships and that it wasn't fair that I was the one to pay the price for something that wasn't my fault. Finally, someone's fucking spitting, bro. I think this is what the entire family needs to be preaching to OP, because OP's been dogging on herself a little bit more than I'd prefer. After the divorce, he reached out and told me if there's anything I need, he'll be here for me. In general, it was a nice sentiment, and I know he's in therapy now too, so that's pretty great. Honestly, all the brothers have been pretty good except brother number 5. I guess maybe number 7 and number 8 are pretty irrelevant, but I do think it's nice that they're like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. As much as I'm like, maybe OP shouldn't take that up, but brother number 1. As you know, brother number 1 was the most outraged by this whole situation since it did affect one of his daughters. Last you guys knew, they asked me to stay away and give them space, but his oldest daughter did reach out to me. She's a sweetheart and told me that she missed how life was before everything happened. I did not ask exactly what her parents told her, but I assume they had to tell her some sort of version of events since she is old enough to ask the right questions. He did not end up pressing charges, but they did end up moving. Luckily for daughter number 1, they moved to the East Coast and she found an amazing culinary program that she's excited about. Daughter number 2, according to her sister, mother, and therapist, is doing great. Apparently, she never had much contact with Ash outside of big family events with other people, and the reason as to why he was taking his feelings out on her picture was more because she is the spitting image of her dad. Not strictly about her as an individual, but about who she represents and the fact that she is a woman. I'll go into that later. She's still in therapy, but is very annoyed about it, claiming that this has nothing to do with her and that she's upset about moving and leaving all of her friends. I guess hell yeah, like if that 14-year-old's doing okay, like that's probably who I was the most concerned about aside from OP. Like that daughter could be having a way worse reaction. So in all, brother number 1's family is safe and adjusted to life on the East Coast, but still keeping their distance with me. They have not liked the weather so far, but I did tell daughter number 1 that she's welcome to visit anytime, and brother number 1's wife and I are friendly enough that she'd let her. Brother number 1 and I have not spoken since everything went down. Any and all communication have been through his wife and daughters. Ugh, chat, I mean, we haven't heard a lot from brother number 1, but everything I hear from him is just bad vibes. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there was more information revealed about brother number 1 in the upcoming updates. The wicked bitch of the West, aka mother-in-law. Some days for the fun of it, I'll go into r/just-no-mother-in-law and convince myself that at least mine was not as bad. Some others I'll see some and wish I could have one whose worst action was wearing white to my wedding. We were never best friends, but she wasn't always awful to me. Living on the other side of the country, there was always a barrier in our relationship that I think we were both comfortable with, you know? We didn't have to interact with each other much, and we were okay with it. She had so many other daughter-in-laws that lived nearby that gave her grandchildren that I just wasn't as as important to her. I still call her on her birthdays and anniversaries, and she always invited me over for the holidays. Whenever we would go over the holidays, the house was always so filled with people that I was just one more or one less, and I was comfortable with that. I think that's where my doormatting with this family started. I tried to be as much help as I could and would do anything to help, which in the long run backfired on me. I think the most time we ever spent together was during our wedding planning. Our wedding was never important to me or Ted. We just wanted to be together. Our parents, on the other hand, were dying to have a big wedding. I'm the first of my sisters to get married, and with the age gap between Ted and his older brothers, there hadn't been a big event like this in a while. I don't regret marrying Ted one bit. I could have done without the big wedding though. I do wish we could have gotten married in a courthouse with just the two of us, or maybe eloped to Vegas and gotten married by Elvis. I don't even know if they still do that, but it sounds just as memorable, if not more memorable, than a huge 200+ wedding. By the way, Vegas resident, from what I know, still goes on. I remember when we finally agreed to the big wedding, how ecstatic she was. It was like for the first time, I was more than just another daughter-in-law out of the pile. It's stupid, but it felt nice, you know. To feel like I was finally accepted into the inner family, even if it was at the cost of a huge wedding. I tried to involve her in the process as much as I could. With 10 sons, I figured she didn't have a lot of opportunities to do girly stuff. She was lovely to me then, perhaps to get her way, and I was just too naive to see it. I stayed the golden daughter-in-law for a while after too. I think until another grandchild was born, and then I was happy to be out of the spotlight, going back to our comfortable coexistence. It was exhausting to be in her favor with all the expectations that came with it. It's a little crazy to think back and remember feeling how much I wanted her to like me, and now thinking that I'd do anything for her to not know of my existence. Damn, what a fucking turnaround. After Ash got committed to a psych ward, she did everything within her power to bring me down. I went to North Carolina with her and with most of the family for a while, but slowly made amends with some of the others. Of course, not with her. I saw her once when she came with some of the others to pack up Ash's apartment. She went to my parents' place just to yell at me, which was awful. The worst part is that she timed it up so well. My parents were at work. My sisters were either at work or school. It was just me sobbing on the other side of the door. I heard the doorbell and went to open it and saw her. She didn't even pretend to be civil and just laid it out on me. She brought up every single thing I could have possibly ever done to her and her family. She told me I was a failure of a wife, that she hoped I got ruined during the divorce, and she would make sure that her son took absolutely everything from me, that she wouldn't rest until I was destitute, that she was grateful I was barren because she couldn't stand the idea of tainting her blood with mine. Bro, OP's so much better than me. Ain't no way I'm taking that disrespect on the doorstep of my own house. Like, I would have gotten Beans' cat litter and fucking chucked it at her. She would be leaving my doorstep covered in cat shit and pee. Like, what the fuck? Also, chat, this isn't making me hopeful that my prediction that Ted chose his mommy over OP any better. Like, I just feel like this woman was for sure pressuring her son. She said so many awful things that day, but the last one is the one that stuck the most. Ted and I were never trying to have children, but we are also not trying not to. We figured we were stable enough that if it was meant to be, it would be, but it never was. Does it make me an awful human being for being thankful? My parents' neighbors called the cops and they escorted her out of the property. That's how my sister found me, just sitting on the floor crying with tortilla. She called Ted, and I guess he got the story from brother number 5, who I guess is the one who drove her, and I just never saw him. Oh, that's the shitty one, isn't it? Yeah, bro, what a fucking shit stain. I haven't heard a peep from her since. I don't know what Ted told her or what she told him. I just know that after that day, she has completely left me alone, and I'm grateful for that. I mean, damn, bro. Did Ted not go and like console OP over that? That's fucking crazy. Oh, this whole story is just fucking mean and evil, and all these people need jail. What the fuck? Chat, there's so much of this update left. Holy shit. Update on Ted, the most okayest ex-husband in the universe. I could tell you 1,000 things about Ted and tell you none at all. It just feels off to not be with him, but I try to respect his needs and wishes. As you know, he asked me for a divorce on the grounds of, I cannot do this to you. I will never forgive myself for putting you in this situation. I don't want to expose you to my family ever again and let them hurt you. So he chose his family over OP. Like, he literally just confirmed it. He couldn't separate himself from his toxic family. So instead, he separated himself from the woman who his toxic family destroyed. That's fucking so brutal, man. Holy shit. I was upset because he was making a decision on what he wanted for me without taking into account what I wanted myself. But after very long therapy sessions, I came to realize that while he was wording it as doing it to protect me, it truly was to protect himself or at least appease his guilt, or so that he could fucking stay with his family and not feel bad about it. Perhaps not having me around helped him feel like nothing had happened, or that he truly thought that this was what was best for him. It just sucks because I always considered what was best for us, not me or him, but us as a team. But then again, his solution was to not have a team. There are days when I wake up cursing his name and shadow, some other where I just stare at my phone and consider calling him. Some days I even lose that battle and do end up calling him. He always does answer and reassures me that he's there for me. I mean, clearly fucking not, dog. Like, what do you... Arguably, I think this is worse because OP doesn't really have closure around Ted. Like, I want OP to be as mad as we are. Like, this dude is a fucking asshole for this. You need to be mad at Ted. And he needs to not be the, oh, I'm there for you no matter what. Like, fuck you. You gave up any inkling of being in OP's life when you decided to go with your family over the woman you fucking married. Especially when said family tormented the woman you married. Anyway, we sold our house and he, of course, moved out. For a while, he moved to the West Coast to fix his family issues while the divorce was being processed. He did come back as his job is here and he loves his job. I don't know if I should be glad he's still here in the city that was our home or if I should hate him for ruining an entire city I love. It sucks that every place I want to go to is filled with memories of him. Perhaps it's me who should move and start over somewhere else where people don't know my dark pee-filled past. I mean, honestly, I kind of do support that. While that's so sad that you're basically run out of your city because this whole shit happened, like, I've been on the receiving end of, like, living in a place that reminds you of a relationship, and that shit blows, bro. That shit sucks because it's just like one more reminder every single day, and then it's harder for you to have days where you don't think about it at all. I'll tell you a bit about Ted's adventures in the East Coast later. This section is life updates. Some people express concern for him and have also been sending him well wishes in comments and messages. I passed them along and he says thank you. I'll copy and paste that bit of the update I wrote, in parentheses, but didn't post, the day he came back to town and asked me to meet. That is about you Redditors. I apologize in advance. It was not a good day. This is crazy though, bro. I feel so bad for OP. I'm glad OP has the sisters and parents as support systems because, like, somebody needs to tell her, like, bro, this shit is not on you. OP has done nothing wrong here. OP's just trying to exist and this family is a bunch of terrorists to her. OP is low-key using Reddit as a therapist, and I think that's her biggest issue here. I mean, she has a real therapist, so, like, I don't think it's terrible. I think she's just using it as a sounding board. I was never one to use Reddit much. I wonder where my life would be without you guys. I probably would have let his family continue to doormat me, and who knows, perhaps I'd be with Sunny right now, and Ash would have gotten all of his life's dreams come true. To this day, I still get messages wishing us both well. Part of me is jealous to have to share you with him. Why does he deserve your well wishes when I'm the one who ended up alone? You guys are bigger and better people than I am. I did tell him you guys hoped he was okay. I'll admit I did tell him partly to hurt him and make him feel guilty. Perhaps I'll regret it someday, but I just needed him to feel something other than pity for me. You know what's the worst part? He laughed. Admittedly a dead man's laugh, but the sound still bothered me. It's not fair he gets to laugh. He said thank you, that one day he hopes he'll be the man you guys thought he was or could be. He also said sorry to disappoint you all, that he knows this is not the ending you wanted for us. Although some of you did wish this outcome at the very beginning. And some of you is me. I'll fucking die on that hill, bro. I think Ted should have and could have done way more than he did. And then this is just the cherry on top of the cowardly cake. I don't know if you'll have changed your mind after all of the updates or if you stand your ground that I should leave him, but, well, he has always liked being ahead of things and left me himself. I don't think this is the part of the update that OP says they're gonna address later, but Chad, am I tripping or did that make y'all hate him more? I feel like I hate him even more now, bro. I feel like bro's even more of a fucking loser. All of us slowly raise our hands in unison. Yeah, bro, we were all just like, I'm telling you, man, this guy just sounds like a fucking terrorist. I wouldn't be surprised if we learned that Ted is, like, super fucking evil. Other than that, Ted is as good as he can be. Just like me, he has good days and bad days. We meet every so often and check up on each other. He tells me what's going on in his life. I tell him how I'm doing. After his mom's visit to my parents' house, I moved out again. I haven't invited him over to my new place, nor do I think I want to. I think having a place without memories of him or his family for the first time in a decade is what I need right now. Tortilla misses him, but I try to convince myself she understands. Okay, chat. Boldest prediction possible. Ted got a new girlfriend. I hope that's not where this is going. I just have this bad feeling based off how this was written. I really do hope I'm wrong, but holy shit. An update on the P-Man himself. I don't even know where to start. When Ash was first committed after the fight with his brothers, he stayed committed for a few weeks. This was after the fight with his brothers when brother number 3, number 4, and number 8 first came to help sort everything out at the very beginning. While he was there, he asked to see Ted multiple times, which he never did, but he did at one point write him a letter. At that point, I didn't want to know what it said. But at some point, I did ask Ted about the letter. He didn't tell me what the letter said, but Ted said that he had written to Ash, telling him to stop asking to see him, that he needed to prioritize himself and his life over Ash for once in his life, and stop putting Ash above his own needs. After a few weeks, brother number 3 arranged for him to be transferred over to the West Coast. I'm not sure if it was transferred into a different facility or if he was released into their custody. Once that was finalized, in parentheses, which took about 2 months, is when their mom and brother number 5 and brother number 7 came to pack up his apartment and officially move him back west. Eventually, or right then, as I mentioned, I'm not sure of the exact timeline, he moved in with their mom. Brother number 2 was the one in charge of overseeing he undergoes treatment, and I trust that he continues to do so. When Ted went over, I guess to have it out with his family, it was hard. He met with his brothers first. I'm not sure if all of them were there, but I guess the most involved ones were. From what Ted told me, brother number 3 told them a bit of what he had been talking about with Ash's doctors while Ash was there in the East Coast. He was treated for a psychotic episode, I think. After that, he's been in treatment ever since. I'm not sure what the exact diagnosis is, but they did talk about a lot of things. They talked about their upbringing and how their bullying had an effect on Ash, how Ted's protectiveness created an unhealthy emotional attachment, and a few other things came to light. I don't know if these are conclusions they came to or if they were told by Ash's therapist or exactly how they got there, but this is what Ted told me when he came back. It was weird listening to him talk about it. He was so detached, like he was talking about someone else's family. But I guess it's his way of processing things, ? I don't know. Many of you asked at some point or another what type of bullying they could have done to make him turn out like this. Well, Ted answered some of those questions for me. For the sake of being consistent, I won't tell you who did what. Per usual, you can choose your own brother to fit your narrative. Just know that while some brothers are remorseful and regretful for their behaviors, apparently some others aren't. Many of you also took a few guesses at the type of tormenting they did, and some were more accurate than others. Apart from your regular standardized bullying of punching, humiliating, mocking, tricking, and insulting, there was also locking in cabinets, stealing clothes, leaving him outside all night long, locking all the bathrooms so he'd have to wet himself, threatening with a variety of items and weapons, leaving him at places and making him walk miles to their house in a variety of weathers, put him in diapers, antagonize him, tie him up and drag him on ATVs through the property. Chat, I'm telling you guys, those sisters died by the brothers doing some fuck shit. You can't convince me otherwise. I refuse to believe anything else. Like, no way. Also, y'all, let's be honest, like, a lot of this shit's brother number 1, for sure. No doubt in my mind. Honestly, like, as much as it's not, like, justified, it makes sense why the fuck Ash turned out the way Ash is, bro. Dumping water on him and leaving him in cold weather, itching powder in his underwear. I could go on, but yeah, you get the picture. I know some people don't get along with their siblings and that bullying and sibling rivalry is a thing, but it just seems so evil while he was describing it. What could he have possibly done to deserve it? I don't get it. It doesn't excuse his behavior, but it does explain a little bit of it. His hatred for women comes from a similar place. The general consensus is that he blames his mother for not protecting him from all of that, making his view on women as weak and useless. I mean, wrong conclusion, but like, right answer. If anybody in this situation should have been stopping that shit, it should have been the mother. If his own mother couldn't protect him from his own brothers, who could? I guess in general, his brothers didn't help with that growing up because they would alienate him from any girls who showed any interest in him. That's how his emotional attachment to Ted began. He was the only one standing up and defending him. But we all already know how that ended. For now and hopefully ever, Ash is staying west. I'm sorry I don't have more definitive answers for you. I'm sure many of you were expecting them, but I also can't bring myself to ask any more questions. When this all started when I was right out of school, I kept 2 pairs of shoes that had been part of the pee incident. I threw most of everything else out, but those 2 pairs. The first pair doesn't matter to you guys. The second were the first thing I bought with my own money from my very first internship while I was still in school. They represented the first step, in parentheses, hence why shoes, to my independence. Having to quit both my jobs, moving in back with my parents, and losing Ted sucked. I just thought of those shoes stashed in a box and how unfair it was that I had lost all that the shoes represented. I'm slowly building my life back up again. Moving to my new apartment and getting a new job are the first steps. I guess I'll see what the future holds for me and Tortilla. I haven't worn them since they were peed on, but maybe I'll wear them again someday when I feel like a whole person again. Much love from my tattered heart, Ellie and Tortilla the cat. I mean, fuck, bro. There's 2 more updates after this. Holy shit. Especially after hearing this and learning that some of the brothers aren't remorseful at all for what they did to Ash. I am appalled at Ted choosing his family over OP. Ted is literally choosing abusers over his fucking wife. Y'all also need to keep in mind, the only information that we got about the older sister who died was that one of the brothers was drunk driving and crashed a motorcycle. I think he probably dragged the sister behind the motorcycle after the information that we just got from that fucking update. Just holy shit. He chose this over the love of his life. What a pathetic little man. I can't agree with you more. He is just so pathetic in my eyes. I really hope someone is telling OP that. This man is a fucking loser. Yeah, what the hell happens more? I guess we'll fucking find out, chat. Peegate update number 5. P-Men tell no tales. This is a Pirates of the Caribbean reference, right? She must be referencing movies and shit. I'll keep this update as short as I can. I've gotten a few comments and messages saying I unnecessarily write too much and take too long to get to the point, so I'm sorry about that, although it is not my job to keep you entertained with my life. I'm writing this because of the overwhelming amount of love and support I've received from many Redditors and the ones who have inquired about my well-being and asked for updates. So I guess if it's too long for your taste, feel free to stop reading at any point. My story has no impact on your lives other than for entertainment, so truly you can stay or go, and I'll be none the wiser. The last time I wrote was just before the holidays, and I'll admit, my holiday plans were not the brightest in hindsight. I know in my last update, I said that I wouldn't just sit on the couch and wallow in self-pity, but take a wild guess at exactly what I did. I honestly wasn't up to celebrating. My family is really into Christmas and happiness and joy, and I didn't want to bring the mood down, so I told my dad I was spending it with a friend who recently lost her husband. In parentheses, she went out of state to be with his parents. And I just stayed home with Tortilla watching movies. Oh, I mean, I get it, but that's so sad. OP is still keeping the peace and not asking others in her life to support her. Ted called me Christmas Day, and for the very first time, I didn't answer. Are you all super proud of me? Yeah, girl. Good shit. I definitely felt that you guys would be after so many of you agreed that I should cut him off completely. But please accept my baby steps. I just couldn't bring myself to go cold turkey for my best friend, even after everything that happened. He texted me later in the day to check in and make sure that I was all right, saying he saw my sister's photos on Facebook and noticed I wasn't there. By the way, guys, I forgot to tell you the date of this update. Saturday, April 9th, 2022. The last one was from December, so January, February, March, April, about 4 months later, just so that we're keeping timelines consistent. Should I ask my sisters to block him? He loves them and they love him. Before everything went down, he truly was an amazing guy, and even now after everything, he's still doing his best. I don't know if it's how I write or when I write, or maybe it's me being biased by our relationship, but Ted is not as horrible as some of you paint him to be. He's also going through something incredibly traumatic, and having to face everything his family did head on is not easy. At this point, OP kind of lives a little bit in Delulu land. Like, girl, if a bunch of people on the internet are ragging on your husband, that's not the time to keep the rose-colored glasses on. It should be a wake-up call that this many people are like, bro, your husband kinda sucks. I sat on his text for a few hours thinking what to reply, and honestly came up empty-handed. I was not all right, but all in all, he's still the person who knows me the best. The 10 years we spent together weren't wasted time. We didn't break it off because we fell out of love, but because it's what was best for both of us. You guys get to read my updates from a point of privilege in a sense. You're not the ones whose lives got destroyed and went from one happy family to being completely on your own. I had my family and you to fall back on, but Ted didn't. Some of his brothers hate him even more now because of all of this. So then why did he choose them over you? I don't know about you, girl, but that makes me fucking angry. His brothers hate him even more now, and honestly, fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck his mom. He should have chosen you, and I stand on that. He lost his best friend and little brother. He lost his partner. He lost Tortilla too. And even though it's a good riddance, he also lost his mom. I mean, but did he though? He's choosing the mom over you. And also, you can't be like, oh, he lost his partner, he lost Tortilla too. He chose that. What was the timeline, you guys? Like, he gave it maybe like 2 months. Ted asked me for time apart. He himself is going through a lot of things and he has a lot of feelings. This was Friday, March 5th, 2021. Peegate update number 2 was Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. So like, not even accounting for the fact that like OP didn't post this right away. Like, bro gave it maximum 2 months before he was like, can't fucking do it. Y'all were together for 10 years and this dude couldn't give you more than maximum 2 months to try to repair the 10 years that you guys had together. Shit, bro. These motherfuckers can come in my subreddit and try to call me a misandrist. That's fucking sketchy. You can't convince me that bro isn't being a fucking coward right now. You just can't. I'd say the same thing if Ted was a woman. That's just cowardly. Oh, Beans is out of the cubby. Beans is guarding me from the ghost right now. Oh, he just meowed. Oh, you know what, chat? He wants to be fed. Let me go do that real quick. Hi, buddy. Oh, yes. You just want your kibble. Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. Hey, Okay, so he doesn't want aquarium rock time. He wants playtime. That's working. Can we play later? Chat, if you haven't given your cats one of these like silver vine toys, dude, Beans fucks with these heavy. Guys, that should keep him preoccupied for a little bit so we can finish this story. It's easy to villainize him and think of him as some monster for hurting me because you only know my side of the story and the tidbits I share with you, but he's still a person. He also got incredibly hurt throughout this whole ordeal, and he's human and he's bound to make mistakes, even though I don't think us getting divorced will ever count as a mistake to him. I ended up just writing back something along the lines of, wasn't up for a party, so just stayed in with Tortilla. Merry Christmas. And I guess he knew something was wrong and came to my park. He knows the overall area where I live and the lovely park that I frequent. And he asked me to meet him, which I did. Yes, you can be less proud of my micro achievement that day, but once again, baby steps. We talked for a few hours. I didn't know he was spending Christmas by himself. Otherwise, I probably would have liked to spend it with him, or at the very least, I would have invited him to my parents. A lot of you have insisted that cutting him off completely would be best, but I disagree. I might change my mind later on, but for now, I think we still need each other for a little bit. These people don't understand what divorce is. No, for real. Listen, girl, if he went through with the divorce, make him fucking sleep in the bed that he made. Like, if you're gonna choose this, stand in it with 10 fucking toes, bro. You can't pussyfoot around like this. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame OP, but like, girl, by you having this mindset, you're enabling him to like still have a lot of power in your life. It's just not good for you. Like, you're not gonna get over him this way. If anything, this is gonna damage your chances of moving on from this situation. Each day, I do think I need him a little bit less, but that day, I needed him. And some days, he needs me too. I'd like to think we can be friends, but I know that long term that might not be sustainable. At some point, he'll find an ex-partner, and they probably won't like me much, or maybe we'll grow apart. Maybe one day, I'll hate him for everything that happened, but for right now, he's helped me in ways that others can't. I mean, even that line is fucking crazy. Like, what about you finding a new partner? Oh, this is just so sad, you guys. It might sound stupid on my end, but I don't think anyone other than him truly understands who I am right now. I'm not the same person I was before everything went down. I'm not even the same person I was a year ago. Going through this whole thing with his family changed both of us a lot, and not everyone gets it or understands why I'm not comfortable bringing kids to the bathroom or why I had to go home sick when my boss gave me sunflowers on International Women's Day. I do think that we both lost parts of ourselves that were perhaps a bit too naive, and we both grown in ways neither of us expected to have to grow, but that have grounded us a bit. I've lived a very privileged and sheltered life, and even though I have lost some of the sunshine that filled me, I feel like this new shade has helped me connect with people a lot more, and I understand their struggles in a more empathetic way. Or at the very least, I'd like to think so. Maybe that's just what going to therapy does for you, in which case, I definitely suggest everyone go to therapy, P-man or not. All in all, I think we're both doing a little bit better. Tortilla is doing great. Apart from a little health scare, she is per usual doing great. Our new place has a lot of windows, and it means a lot of sunny patches, which she is enjoying thoroughly. Ted went no contact with most of his family and is currently low contact with brother 4 and brother 6. So I don't really have anything to tell you about Ash or the rest of the brothers, other than Brother 6, who is really sad that Ted is keeping his distance from him, specifically since he also cut off mostly everyone, but he says he understands and that he'll be there for him whenever he is ready. Oh, okay. I guess that's better. If there was any redemption for Ted, I think this was the paragraph for it. Damn, poor brother number 6. Which one's number 4 again? Brother number 4 is the one who's making sure that Ash doesn't adopt another animal like ever. So good guy. Huh. Interesting. Unless brother number 4 and number 6 were part of the brothers that were doing some evil shit to Ash. I'm kind of curious why Ted is keeping his distance from them. He's punishing himself, has to be. I mean, that would definitely explain it. But at the same time, he has a therapist, right? Wouldn't that therapist be able to identify, hey bro, like you going through a divorce is like you punishing yourself? I don't know, man. This is so conflicting. Not necessarily. OP's therapist sided with Ted the whole time. Fuck, I forgot about that. Oh, this is a nightmare. Not even the fucking therapists are good. Oh, fuck, man. What are we doing? Everything is going wrong. Everybody's doing the wrong thing. Like, oh my fucking God. It was brought up quite a few times that what was always referred to as bullying was actually abuse, and I do think it's important to use that word when describing their childhood. I think precisely part of the problem that caused the House of Cards to come down was the dismissive way everyone went about it, and how much they all, including Ted and Ash, downplayed it as either boys will be boys, brothers are like that, or simply I thought it was normal. I think if any of the wives or I had known the extent of things in their childhood, perhaps a lot of different decisions would have been made. Of course, my ex-mother-in-law is a lot to blame for that, but oh well, I guess we've all learned from it. I don't think I'm ready to date yet. I think I need to learn to be alone first. I was with Ted since college, and it's been quite some time since. I don't even think I know how to do a first date anymore, but I'm sure I'll be able to Google it whenever I get there. It's been weird adapting to solitude. I don't want to call it loneliness because sometimes it's nice, you know? I'll finish a book and close it, and the place will be quiet and not in an eerie way, but somehow comforting. I've had to learn a lot, which made me realize how heavily I relied on others to help me with things that I always could have done myself. I changed a tire for the first time. It was a scary experience because my tire popped on a highway, but I did it. I learned that different plants have different care requirements after killing a bunch, but now I have a little basil that's doing great. I learned that I actually don't really care for action movies. The high speed and constant pressure is not something I enjoy. I learned to cook shrimp. Ted is allergic, so we never had any at home. Pro tip, don't forget to devein your shrimp. There are also things that I miss about being with Ted. I had to drive myself to the emergency room after missing a carrot with a knife, and I think that hospitals should have a valet option. Tortilla had a health scare, and being alone in the waiting room was truly awful. The death anniversary of a childhood friend came and went, and he wasn't there to comfort me. I also really dislike mopping, and I'm stuck having to do it myself. That's about it, I think. I haven't seen Ted since Christmas, though we do still text each other every so often, and have called each other a few times, but we're learning to be apart without withdrawing all of our support at once. We are still healing, and I am still healing, but now I can confidently say that I can see a bright side, when before it was just kind of living one day at a time. I don't know if that makes sense. Ted's birthday is coming up. I don't think I'll go see him, but I'll ask his friends to make sure he's not alone. I've been toying with the idea of adopting an elder cat for him. He always felt so strongly about them, and I think it'd be a good idea for him, but I don't want to overstep. What do you guys think? I don't know, bro. That's a bad idea, I think. Like, you guys talking is too much, I think. Even though Ted has cut off his brothers, I still think, like, you need a clean break. I get it, it's hard, but, like, your therapist must want to wring your neck, bro. Like, I just think, like, not as much growth is happening as there could be. I mean, OP hasn't said it, but I think it's fair to assume that OP is still harboring hope that her and Ted will get back together. Yeah, her therapist is probably not getting the whole picture. No, for real, bro. Oh, that's just so terrible. Lastly, I want to thank you all for your constant support and well wishes. You truly are an amazing community that shows a side of humanity that truly is beautiful. Of course, Reddit has its dark corners and mean people, but the majority of you are such a strong support system without even knowing me, and the many others you have helped. And I just feel like perhaps the internet is not so bad. I'll make sure to pay back and pass on all the kindness I've received from all of you, and maybe one Redditor at a time, we can leave this place a little bit better than we found it. Right now, I think this is as good as a final update as any. Chad, there's another update. There's another fucking update, bro. Final update is crazy. A relative content ending with a hopeful future. I don't know if I can say that because you're still talking to him, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'll surprise you a la Gilmore Girls and give you a year in the life sometime in the future. But for now, I can say that everything will be okay. Head pets for all those who want them, intended for cats, but I don't discriminate based on species, and my love for everyone from my mending heart. Ellie and Tortilla. Bro, what are the comments saying on this? I just gotta know. Please don't adopt a cat for him. It should be his decision and only his. I know you mean well, but pets are not gifts and should not be treated as like. And that is coming from a cat person. I actually agree with that. The other thing I was gonna say that I just couldn't put into words, the last thing bro maybe wants to see is a cat. Like his brother literally defiled and killed a cat. I'm sure if he's guilty about his marriage, he's probably guilty about that cat too. OP replied to that saying he mentioned last time I saw him that he'd been thinking about adopting one since he missed Tortilla, but perhaps you're right. Thank you for your input. Yeah, I kind of agree. Adopting has to be on your own terms. Yeah, I mean, most people just have questions or are thinking for updating. I don't know. Listen, I can't say that OP's paragraph about Ted cutting off his family didn't make me feel a little bit better, because it did. I think I was assuming that he was still very actively talking to his family, but that made it sound like he wasn't. I don't know though. I still just think he doesn't deserve a place in OP's life. If he would have given it, let's say 6 months to try to address his concerns, heal the marriage, maybe just sleep in separate bedrooms, like have a little separation because you are feeling guilty, but like, I still think he took the coward's way out. And that on top of a lot of the things he did early on in their relationship and marriage just make me think less of him. So I don't know. All I know is OP really does need to get a spine and just hard cut him off. I think that would be better for him and for her, to be fair. Here it is, y'all. Peegate update 6, Return of the P-Man. This is the last update that we got as of 3 years ago. Originally posted Saturday, February 11th, 2023, which would make it almost a full year. I think technically 10 months since the last update. Hello, lovely people of Reddit. How are you? Almost an entire year has gone by, and I hope that we have all grown older and wiser. It's endearing to know that even after all this time, there's still people following me and sending me heartwarming messages and comments. Also, thank you to whomever reported me to Reddit Care. I didn't even know that was a service they offered. It was, I hope, from a place of caring and concern. I guess at some point the story made it into TikTok? So hello to all those who came from there. At this point, I'm expecting AOL chat rooms or Yahoo Answers were to show up. Okay, I'm not really sure what they were trying to say at the end there. The new 20s are kicking my ass, and not in a particularly positive way. I cannot wait for this decade to be over. A Redditor called my last update a holiday special, and it made me laugh. I don't think they meant it kindly, but it just struck me funny because I'm an absolute sucker for the Hallmark Channel. So here I am again after the holidays. First update here, my life-saving robot mop and my dying basil. At the suggestions of multiple Redditors, I got myself a steam mop at first. It definitely helped, but I still had to go through motions of mopping, and the floor still being a little damp and my socks getting wet is what bothers me about mopping. So at the suggestion of other Redditors, I got a robot mop. I have a Roomba. I just didn't know that they also made mop versions. It's perfect and I love it. Wait, I didn't know they made mop versions. Hold on. New tech discovered, chat. I run her while I'm out for the day and I come home to nicely fresh, dry floors and it's the best feeling in the world. My little basil plant died. I think it's my fault because I moved it from where I had it in the kitchen and it was getting more light than before, but it's dead. I did make a really nice pasta salad with the last of it. In parentheses, orzo with cherry tomatoes, mozzarella balls, olive oil, salt, and basil. Super simple and delicious. God, it's making me hungry. I was gifted a few miniature rose plants, thoroughly killed all of them in a few months, and kind of gave up on live greenery. Update part 2. Life going back to somewhat normal and my internal monologuing ramblings. Life sucks and then you die. Wow, what a really sad way to start that off. One of my sisters has always been attached to that saying, and I think that the beauty of it is that it can be interpreted in so many different ways. She sees it as a reminder not to focus on the bad things, because you never know when you will die. But right now, I feel it a bit more literally. I believe the romanticized saying of when it rains, it pours comes from a similar sentiment. I went on a date. A friend of mine set me up with a coworker of his, and it was weird. I don't know if I've always been this awkward or if first dates as a rule are awkward, and if we simply didn't click with each other, but I just spent the entire dinner with this feeling of fight or flight. The guy was lovely. I don't know. Maybe we should have just done something less formal than dinner. I haven't had a first date in so many years. I guess people nowadays do coffee instead, and I should have gone that way, or maybe I wasn't ready yet. My new, in parentheses not new anymore, but the one I got after everything happened, job is lovely. My boss doesn't gift me flowers anymore. I don't know if he's perceptive and saw what happened last year and got the hint, or if someone mentioned something, but now when everyone else gets flowers, I get lamps. Flower for you, flower from you. I got this from IKEA. Like, That's so funny. I want to know how bro landed on lamps. Like, he's like, all right, fuck, I can't get her flowers. I can't get her flowers again. What's a good replacement for a flower? Oh, I got it. A lamp. To be completely fucking fair, if someone gifted me a lamp, I would be pretty appreciative of it. I feel like lamps are those things that everyone needs, but at least for me, like, I avoid buying them like the plague. I know it sounds random, but I love lamps and light up things. In the past year, he has given me a little cat nightlight that brings me so much joy. Also some fairy lights and one of those Himalayan rock salt lamps. He's a great guy and I really appreciate the effort. Chad, do you think he's like, fuck, I gotta figure out a new lamp to get her? I mean, that's so sweet, but I'm like giggling at this dude being like, shit, all right, I already got her this type of lamp, this type of lamp, like... That's so silly, but okay, I like it. My workmates are great, and the work we do is both fun and fulfilling, which is something I didn't have before. I used to have 2 jobs, one fulfilling and one to pay the bills. It's crazy to have one that does both, and it makes me feel like I wasted so much of my time in my previous one, so that's a silver lining of everything. Tortilla's doing great. She now has to eat prescription food and is very unhappy about it, even though it's been months. The winter is always a little rough on her because she gets extra fluffy, and you can tell it bothers her, so 'tis the season for more brushing and shedding. If you have long-haired pets, I do recommend the Furminator, but Amazon has cheaper, comparable alternatives. She is getting older, so I do what I can to make sure she's comfortable. One of my sisters got a kitten, and we watch him while she's out of town, and Tortilla absolutely adores him. Matcha, the kitten, doesn't love all the grooming she gives him, and pretends not to like her, but if she's asleep, he'll go and cuddle with her, but if she wakes up first, he'll run away. Bro's just playing hard to get. That's cute. Okay. You know what? At least Tortilla's doing good. I'm rambling, perhaps because I don't know where to start or what to tell. And it's also scary in a sense because I know certain people keep tabs on me through this account. And I don't care if they do, but it feels kind of odd. Kind of like the feeling you get when you know someone is watching you from afar. I don't know if that'll make sense to you guys, but yeah. Anyway, when I'm feeling particularly masochistic, I'll read comments on places where the P-Man saga has been shared. Most of you on my own threads are absolutely lovely and supportive. But outside my own virtual walls is where people share the harsher opinions. As I mentioned, it's masochistic and unhealthy, and I know it. And my therapist knows it, but it also grounds me a bit and helps me see things from perspectives I hadn't considered. Yeah, coming from the YouTuber, like, I think everybody should stay out of the comment section. The comment section is so ass. I think the thing that people don't go into the comment sections thinking is like, you don't have to be qualified to leave your opinions. Like, the most terrible, awful, dumb motherfucker can leave the most hateful comment in the world. And like, in my opinion, you just always have to assume if someone's giving you that amount of hate that's like not very solicited, like you have to come to a conclusion in your mind that that's just a bad person and you shouldn't listen to them. I genuinely believe that. For example, someone called me deranged for being so obsessed over cats. I hadn't really noticed, but a good portion of my updates do revolve around cats and cat well-being. This is because I, in fact, do love cats. That person said I showed more empathy towards cats than I did towards Ash or my family-in-law or even Ted. And yeah, a little. Consider me sociopathic if you'd like, but domesticated animals in general do not have a say in what goes on in their lives. We as pet owners make the decisions for them and try to make the best ones that we can. Also, in no way, shape, or form does Ash or that family, or I'd even argue Ted, deserve the amount of empathy than a cat that you decided to put underneath your care. Incels found the post? No, for real, bro. Like, what a bunch of fucking boners. God forbid you love and dote on the animal that you've chosen to have the responsibility of caring for in your life. God, people are fucking insufferable. But in regards to Sunny, yes, I absolutely, and to this day, will always feel more empathy for her than for anyone else involved because she was helpless. There was no other options for her, no safe place, and no one to advocate for her. For those that don't remember, Sunny was Ash's cat that died after being horribly mistreated. Even if you take out the sentimental component, my attachment for cats, from a humane standpoint, it was still awful, and there's a reason why animal cruelty charges were considered. Other comments said I was over-victimizing myself, that what I went through was truly nothing and I'm just dramatic, in parentheses, which maybe I am a little, and that the true victims were X or Y or Z. Like, this is why everybody shouldn't have internet access. You're telling me the girl who got her shit peed on and that a guy was actively targeting by peeing and coming on photos of her, she's not the victim? Like, genuinely, if you think that, I need you to fucking Sons of Anarchy yourself right now. Like, that is the only good thing you could possibly do in this world. I think each person involved in this whole ordeal is a victim in one way or another, but being a victim in your own story does not trump you being a villain in someone someone else's. Take my ex-mother-in-law, for example. She is the person who has gotten the least amount of sympathy in everything I've read, but her husband was a piece of shit. He was an abusive father and husband. I know her upbringing was less than stellar and has a lot of unresolved trauma with the death of her daughters. Does it excuse her behavior? No. Does it explain it a little bit? Maybe. Does it make better all of the damage she caused? Definitely no. Ash was a victim of an incredibly abusive childhood, but part of the reason why this caught everyone by surprise and why everyone went downhill so fast is because he was very well put together, or at least he was incredible at managing or hiding away his feelings. He has an engineering degree from a recognized university. He had a stable job and successful life after he graduated. Everything went down with the pandemic and the isolation. I don't know, and I've thought about this a lot, but I do wonder if there had been no pandemic, what would have happened? Would Ash not have snapped? Would something else have triggered him? Would someone else open the skeleton closet? The imaginary what ifs are their own adventure. I have pictured so many different lives with happy, sad, and tragic endings. I am aware that it's not good to fixate on those, but sometimes I envy the possibilities. I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was just a ticking time bomb. I think no matter what, whether it was this or something else, Ash would have snapped again. The brothers just found evidence this time? No, for real. I think that might be the case. I will admit though that in my wildest imaginations, I did not quite ever picture Ted dying. He is not dead. Let me preface with that. He is doing okay right now. Please remember that while all this is written from my perspective, the real person in the middle of it was Ted. I was just a casualty. Oh, damn. Okay. It took many, many therapy sessions to come to terms that it wasn't really my fault. I was just the unfortunate one to have drawn the short stick. What made Ash be the way he ended up was the years of abuse and dismissive attitude from their family, and one way or another, that would have come out regardless of my involvement. I'd like to imagine something somehow would have convinced him to go to a real therapist, and it would have been dealt with in a safe, healthy way, but I guess we'll never know. The one thing I have come to be thankful for is that it was me that broke the camel's back, and not brother one's daughter. Things would have been drastically different and much more horrifying. Okay, shit. And then we have like a part 3 of this update titled Ted, and it gives a trigger warning. So I guess that's people's warning for if you got any triggers, you might want to skip this. As you all remember, I kind of kept in touch with Brother 6 after the divorce, but after the suggestion of many of you and a lot of people in my life, I kind of took a step back and distanced myself from him. A few months after, I got contacted by Brother 6, asking me if I had heard from Ted recently, which I hadn't, and he explained that some family stuff had gone down. He didn't explain what, nor did I ask, and that a lot of them had tried to reach out to him, but nobody had succeeded. He told me he was worried and that he was making plans to come to our city to check in on him and to let him know if he heard from him. I knew Ted was deliberately keeping his family at a distance, including brother number 6, so it didn't really strike me as odd that they hadn't heard from him. But to give credit when it's due, it's not like Ted to just ignore a family emergency. I shot him a message letting him know that brother number 6 had contacted me looking for him, but I didn't hear back from him. At that point, Ted and I had distanced ourselves from each other, in parentheses, like it had been suggested over and over in my multiple updates, so it also wasn't alarming when he didn't reply back. But he did read my message. I mean, thank God she distanced herself from Ted because we were definitely on that wave last stream. Fast forward about 2 weeks or so, and brother number 6 tells me he's in town and would like to meet me. I said yes because I missed him and asked him to dinner at this new place that I thought he'd like. And he said no, just coffee. That was weird because brother number 6 is a massive foodie and he never turns down new restaurants. But I figured he was in town only for a few days and wanted to spend more time with Ted. We met at my park, and honestly, he looked rough. I just remember taking a step back and having this feeling of dread. The kind of dread you feel when you know a person is going to give you bad news. To be absolutely honest, I thought he was going to tell me that Ash was back in town, but he just looked so ready to give up. He told me that a few more things had come to light in the family, in parentheses that I wasn't really interested in knowing, so I didn't ask for specifics. I'm sorry I can't provide more hot goss, which I know is something that you guys like, and that when he'd come to check on Ted, he found him spiraling pretty bad. Ted was never much of a drinker, just kind of socially and on special occasions, but when he had got to his place, he was completely wasted at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Brother number 6 stayed with him and sobered him up, and eventually on Sunday, he caught him up on the family situation. I mean, I guess Ted needed to be informed on what's going on with his family, but at the same time, I feel like that's not the time to rip bad news, you know? Brother number 6 went to grab his stuff from his hotel and came back to Ted completely unresponsive. He called emergency services and Ted stayed in the hospital for a bit. I don't really know if anything else happened to him or if it was just an accumulation of everything that had been happening for the past 2 years, catching up with him, but it feels to me that he had been going on a self-destructive bender for quite a while. Talking it over with my therapist, she kind of implied that it would make sense, and it would also kind of explain why the divorce. Maybe I'm just trying to find a justification of why he divorced me even after all this time, but knowing Ted the way that I do, that would make sense. He was always a good protector. I guess he got that trait early in his life protecting Ash. He's the type of guy to keep an eye on a girl's drink at the bar, that always stopped to check if an unaccompanied child was okay. He also has some controlling tendencies that most often lead him to anxiety. He's a great planner, but has great difficulties when things don't go according to said plan. It makes him rigid at times, but also extremely reliable. But those are all things I always loved about him. Many times during our multiple conversations before the divorce, he would always apologize for not being able to protect me, for putting me in harm's way, and even though I had thought I had reassured him that it wasn't his fault, I guess he was never convinced. He was also coming to terms with the reality that his family was not really as nice as he thought. Having realized that he himself had taken part in the dismissiveness of the family's actions throughout their childhood, having to realize how bad and how horrifying his past was, and how monstrous some of his brothers are. It really takes a toll on a person. He was dealing with his own trauma, the immeasurable guilt he felt, and all in all, the powerlessness. Yeah, okay, you guys are agreeing with me. That was not the time to tell Ted. I feel like that was such a bad time to tell Ted. Ted ended up going to a treatment center for a bit. He wouldn't let me visit, but he did write me emails. They are a little too personal to share with you guys, but it was a very emotional experience reading them. The first few apologetic for making me worry and reassuring me that he was all right. Some others very rambling, and that's coming from me. And some others actually pretty great. It was a very interesting progression to see him go from hyper polite and apologetic back to the same man I fell in love with. It was also very interesting seeing him internalize things that I had been saying for years, and also gaining insight on things that I hadn't seen before. Overall, I think it was cathartic for him. I do think writing is the best outlet, hence why I'm here. And it helped him organize his thoughts. Why emails to me specifically instead of a diary or emails to himself, I have no idea, but I'm not complaining. There was one particular email where he was angry at everyone and everything. Everything was wrong and he was frustrated, and I felt so relieved. It was amazing reading his spark come back. When he first emailed me, he asked me not to reply to his emails, to just listen, in parentheses, read, question mark, or that if I wanted to, I could just delete them and he would be none the wiser. In the angry email, he called me by my nickname that he hadn't used in years, since before we got married, and boy did that piss me off. It wasn't anything serious. He was ranting about a trip we had taken with a few friends, and they ended up breaking up in the middle of it and didn't want to go back home because everything was already paid for, but refused to be with each other. So we ended up splitting boys and girls to do the activities that were planned, and he was miserable the entire time. He said something along the lines of, "I haven't forgiven Alyssa for Venice. It was supposed to be you and I, Peaches, not me and Rog on a freaking gondola." It's nothing wrong with the pet name itself, but it just brought back the feeling of everything I had lost and all of the memories of everything. And I went against his request and replied to his email. This led to more correspondence between the two. He didn't take it badly that I replied, so I don't know if that was his intention all along or what, but we just emailed back and forth for a few weeks and it was nice. Okay, don't get me wrong, Ted is going through it, definitely needs a lot of support, but I'm kind of feeling like, how unfair would that be if you texted your ex and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna use you as a soundboard, but you can't reply." There's a lot going on, especially towards the beginning, that made me think Ted was the bad guy. In the last update, there were some things that came out where I was like, okay, maybe Ted isn't the bad guy necessarily. And even in this update so far, I'm like very inclined to be like, Ted's not the bad guy. But he keeps doing bad guy things. Like, I might be a fucking dickhead for saying that, by the way. I might be a fucking asshole, but like, I don't care. That's just how I feel. Like, I feel like he keeps doing stuff that's not helpful for OP's healing. Like, I get it, bro. You're going through some shit, but you broke this woman's heart and divorced her. And like, I still stand on business that what he did was very cowardly. It's just fucking crazy to me to be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna almost drink myself to death, go to rehab, and then write emails to my ex every day as a personal diary, but ooh, you're not allowed to reply. And when you do reply, you feel bad about it. I don't know, man. I feel like a dick. Ted isn't the worst guy in the story, but he's not good. I think I have to agree with that, man. Like, I guess a bad guy can do the right thing every once in a while. We never talked about Ash or his family when we emailed. I don't know if it was because it just didn't come up naturally or he was avoiding the topic, but it was nice just communicating with him like back in the day. When we first met, Facebook Messenger was the thing we used to communicate, and just writing to him brought me back to those days. It's stupid how much I still love him and how much I missed him. Those stupid emails were like getting my best friend back, even if he wasn't my husband anymore. Like, bro, how the fuck do you heal from that? Like, the ex is just figuring out a way to like, you know, He is now back at his place. Brother number 3, his wife and dog lived with him, in parentheses, yay, remote work, for a while, just until he got properly settled. He now takes antidepressants and has a broader support network and is doing much better. He stopped shutting people out while still maintaining some healthy boundaries, which is great. He's back in touch with brother number 3, number 4, and number 6, which were always his closest other than Ash. And he has absolutely no contact with everyone else. I feel a little bad for his nibblings because I know he was really close to some of them and I know he misses them, but yeah, that's something he definitely needed. For what it's worth, brother number 6 is also no contact with everyone. He was always kind of distant with everyone other than Ted and Ash. And I'm guessing because he knew, but after everything, he's kind of getting closer to brother number 4 and number 3, which, hey, another silver lining. I'm not entirely sure what contact number 3 and number 4 have with everyone else, but I do know that number 4 is somewhat involved, but he has a clear understanding and respect of the boundaries that Ted set and does not share information with him or of him. Ted and I have met a few times, sometimes at friends' events, others just to catch up, and I honestly can tell you guys he's doing good now. He's regained the weight he lost and his hair is shiny again. You can't see his freckles anymore, so he's been spending time in the sun, which is good, and his shoulders don't sag anymore. Sorry, it's super off topic, but I feel like my freckles pop more when I've been spending a lot of time in the sun. He went back to his job this past week. In parentheses, he was put on LOA, and I can tell how much it gives him a sense of purpose. He was never able to not do anything, so I can imagine how that time was extra itchy for him because of that. LOA, leave of absence. Okay. We did end up going to a shelter, and he adopted an elderly cat. His name is Socks. I'm guessing because he has white paws. Oh my God. Him and Beans are twins. He's a great cat and very loving. He's also missing a bunch of his teeth. Ted has been trying to rename him Macbeth, but he doesn't seem to like it. In Ted's defense, he also doesn't respond to Socks, so maybe he'll succeed. I brought Tortilla to visit them, and she was very happy to see Ted. She didn't really care for McSocks, but that's just because she doesn't like animals bigger than her. Chat, do we think OP and Ted are sleeping together? I fucking hope not. I don't know, bro. Y'all ever had like a weird thing with your ex where you guys are broken up, but you're still like running into each other, seeing each other? Like, come on. We know what's happening. I feel like that's something OP is just conveniently leaving out. Mr. Beans. Oh, bro, he's activated. He's gonna come down, bro. I know it. I think this is like part 4 of the update. I honestly lost count. Titled, Back at My Parents and Life Right Now. As I mentioned before, I live on the East Coast and 2022 is particularly rough for us. 2 hurricanes hit my town and my apartment flooded. During state of emergency, my dad always invites us to their place, so at least Tortilla and I were safe, but yeah, that sucked. I don't know if it was a message from the universe or divine intervention or what, but you know the 2 pairs of shoes that I kept? Ruined. Both of them. I tried everything in my power to save them, even consulted professionals, but yeah, ruined beyond repair. I mean, it wasn't only those 2 shoes, like half of my belongings had to be replaced and a bunch of other sentimental things, but you guys know about the shoes and my attachment to them, even if they were a biohazard. My poor apartment went through a lot. The floors had to be removed because of the water damage, and it was already rotting and molding underneath by the time we were able to go in. So that was a big investment to fix. My appliances needed to be replaced, in parentheses, including the robot mop, tragically, and most of my furniture too. For the record, I did have sandbags, but I guess it was too much for them. Insurance covered a portion of the repairs, but clearly not all of them. In parentheses, insurance claims suck. I mean, I think just insurance companies in general suck and are run by fucking Satan. And well, it ended up being the best option to fix the things and sell the apartment. I have always complained about moving, but there was something so depressing about moving with just a few boxes. Not even when I went to college did I have so little with me. So I'm currently staying with my parents again. It's a little frustrating, but I'm grateful to be with my parents. The house feels a little lonely because the last of my sisters just moved away to college, so it's quiet, except for the cats running around, but hey, cats are great company. I'm in the process of closing on a new apartment, in a high-rise this time, so this hopefully doesn't happen again. Okay, OP, I see you in a high-rise, goddamn. I'll miss my park, but the new apartment is in an amazing location with everything nearby. I could also bike to my job if I wanted to, but I'd have to learn how to ride a bike first. Why don't I know how to ride a bike? Because my dad was too overprotective and thought we'd die if we got on a bike. I don't know if I'm too old to learn how to ride a bike now, but I'm willing to bruise my ego and try training wheels. I'm wondering if I want to say this because it's low-key maybe a little mean, but I feel like reading that kind of clicked in my head maybe why OP is a little the way that OP is. Like, oh, your parents were so overprotective that they didn't let you do like the childhood thing that is riding a bike. Like, it kind of makes sense why maybe you aren't making the right choices when it comes to keeping your own peace and advocating for yourself. Listen, I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I just read that and I was like, oh, helicopter parents for real. Like, listen, I don't think I'm gonna have a very smooth transition when it comes to not being a helicopter parent. Like, that's definitely my tendency and I'm aware of it and I know it. But like, I'm gonna let my fucking kids ride a bike. Like, I feel feel like that's an essential part to like being a kid. I think every kid should learn how to ride a bike. I think it's like enjoyment, and it teaches you as a kid to like persist through maybe like little injuries or like being scared. Like it teaches you can overcome it. The fact that OP had parents that wouldn't do that because they were overprotective is like, damn. Some people truly are sheltered way too much, and it's not good for either side. I totally agree with that, bro. To be completely honest with you guys, I was very sheltered in a lot of ways. Like going to college for me was a transition that like I wasn't not equipped to handle that transition, but it was for sure an adjustment. Like I'd say the first 6 months of me being at college was like adjusting to being like a real adult, because I hadn't really gotten the opportunity to do that as much being in high school. I think that's a really good thing that parents can start doing with their senior in high school kids, is like start having them do some more adult things to help them ease into that transition. Yeah, I don't know. I want to raise my kids to be, if they want to pursue something in their head, it's just natural. The new apartment has much bigger windows, so there'll be lots of sunny patches for tortilla. I wanted to build a catio at my last place because I did have a small terrace, but the new place has a balcony, which seems a little unsafe for a catio. So yeah, that's life right now. I've been focusing on work and spending time with my parents. I booked myself a trip in March, and it'll be my first time traveling alone. I'm slightly scared because I've never had to plan a trip by myself. In parentheses, did I mention Ted is a great planner? And I have no idea if I'm doing things right, but that's the point. I've been taking classes for the language of where I'm going, so we'll see how much I actually learned. I want to share something as well, which is ultimately why I ended up writing this update and choosing the title. I did not add it in the TLDR because screw the haters. If they don't want to read all of my ramblings, why should they be privy to it all? Back when Brother 6 contacted me about Ted, I was afraid that he was telling me that Ash was back. And as you now know, that was not the case. When Ted was getting help, I received a letter at my parents' house. It was a letter from Ash. For the first time in the 2 years since Peegate happened, I didn't feel dread. I don't know if it's because I was receiving Ted's emails, or maybe I've done some good healing. In parentheses, my therapist really should start charging me more. She refused when I offered her a raise, saying that it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I read it. He apologized. He owned up to a lot of things he had done to me that I had never noticed were microaggressions on his part. And he owned up to a lot of his behaviors that always bothered me. He didn't try to justify anything, just apologize. He admitted to a few other things that were both surprising and not, and some others that a few of you guessed about. It felt a little rambly and desperate, but I get it. He apologized for hurting Ted, that he knew what Ted was going through perhaps more than anyone else, and that he understood that he had done irreparable damage and was never going to be in his life again. That even if he couldn't help his brother after everything he caused, he knew that by at least owning up to his mistakes, he could at least make it up to me a little. And that even if Ted never knew about it, it was a small way for him to apologize to him indirectly. Fucking thank God he's finally apologizing to the right person, right? Like the whole problem we had was he was fucking apologizing to Ted when he was fucking doing OP dirty. He said a line that I found interesting. I'm sorry I ruined your marriage, but I don't think I ruined your life. Ted would not have chosen you if you weren't resilient. What a fucking line. Because I don't think he's wrong. And in a lot of ways, that shit hits. But it's crazy getting it delivered from Ash. Holy shit. Right line, wrong bitch. Like, that's a line to come from the therapist, right? I'm sorry Ash ruined your marriage, but Ash didn't ruin your life. Or I don't know, maybe the parents, or I don't know. Listen, maybe OP's just a better person than I am. Or maybe also they need to be more angry than they are. Hi, Beans. But like, I think I would be mad. I would be fucking mad if the guy that upended my life that hard was like, nah, bro, you got it. I didn't ruin your life. Let me tell you how to feel about this situation. Hey, buddy. Is it annoy dad time? Is it walk in front of the story so that I have to give you attention time? Yes. Ooh, what a happy tale. So happy. Oh, do you want to laugh? Oh, put that away. He also thanked me for trying. I tried really hard at first to be friends with him, but after the incident, of course, it was a big no. He said he had given up. Beans, I can't read. You're right in front of it. Can you please move? Bro, dad needs to pay the bills. Oh, you got crusties, bro. Give me the shit. Oh, let me get the other crusty. Let me get the other crusty. Please, 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 please. Let me get the crusty. Please. Please, buddy. I'm trying to help you. There you go. There you go. Nope, nope. You're good. You're good, bro. God, you try to help your cat and he just acts like you're a terrorist. He's gonna bite me now. Like I can see it in his fucking little demonic eyes. See? I just know my fucking cat, bro. Did y'all see too? I presented this arm for him to bite and then he went for this one. Weave. He didn't break skin. What a weakling. I taught him better. Hey, if you're gonna bite me, at least do damage. I tried really hard at first to be friends with him, but after the incident, of course, it was a big no. He said he had given up on people other than Ted trying for him to be their friend, and that he was sorry he never gave me a chance. He admitted he was jealous that I brought Ted happiness in ways he couldn't, and that he regretted that because of him, Ted had lost that. I think it was just a way to appease the guilt he was feeling about hurting his favorite person and seeing the actual effect it had on him while also somewhat respecting his boundaries. I mean, he disrespected mine, but yeah, I get it. I haven't told Ted about the letter, and I don't think I will either. I did tell Brother 6, and even though he was enraged at first, he understood and accepted it and told me it was up to me if I told Ted or not. He didn't think it'd do much harm, but also didn't think it would help anything. So if I felt compelled to tell or show Ted about the letter, all he asked was that I wait until after he was in a better place, and that perhaps to run it by his therapist or do it in therapy. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with OP. Like, the letter was probably more for Ash than it was for OP. Like, he has to be going through a program, right? Like, isn't part of the 12-step program seeking forgiveness or something like that? Or no, not that. It's making amends. Fuck off, Ash. How about that? No, I kind of agree with that. I think he needs to fuck off. Poor OP, bro. I just think some people don't deserve amends, or like don't have a right to make amends. Like, OP could have had a very bad reaction to seeing a letter from, I'll say it, her abuser. And I'm gonna be so real, y'all. I think most of the time when people go through those programs or like are asking for forgiveness, they're not asking for forgiveness to truly like be apologetic. They're asking for forgiveness to relieve guilt off of themselves. It's actually a thing to make amends if it doesn't cause more harm. Yeah, okay, if that's the case, then yeah, I don't even think bro should have reached out to her at all, but I don't know, man. Wow, what a fucking shit show. I can't even believe we're here. What a wild ride. Chat, let's finish it. Part 5, closing thoughts from OP. Christmas has come and gone again, and this year I did spend it with my family. My sisters are the best, and each of them bought me a pair of shoes to represent my life milestones, and they gave me an empty shoebox to represent the pair that I'll have to buy to start this new chapter. It's the most sentimental gift I've ever gotten, and I cried most of Christmas morning because of it. Wait, that's so cute. And OP didn't spend this Christmas lying to their family that they'd be with another friend when they were in reality by themselves because they didn't want to put a damper on Christmas. That's progress. I saw Ted for New Year's. We both were invited to a mutual friend's party and we had a great time. We didn't intentionally spend the whole time together, but we did often end up in our own conversations, in parentheses, without being rude to everyone else, and just laughed together. When midnight struck, I was sitting in the back, kinda away from the couples, and he sat next to me and put his head on my shoulder, and we just stayed in comfortable silence while everyone else rang the new year. It's such a relief to have Ted the friend back. I still love him. I probably always will. I've tried the distance thing, the no contact, the sleeping with someone else to get him out of my system, and it does not work. I don't know if he is my fated soulmate and will always gravitate towards each other, or if it's just the comfort and convenience of being together for so long. But I can't help but still love him. I love the man he was before, and I love the man he is right now, and I love the one he was in between. And if I'm being honest, I probably will love the one he will be every day after. Yeah, not wild about hearing that, I can't lie. I will not give him up, even if I have to give up on him. I'd rather keep him in my life as my friend than keep pushing him away when I'm always happiest when he's in my life. I deserve to be happy and he makes me happy. Is that so wrong? I know most of you keep saying that it was a good riddance and that he did me a favor and we should just cut each other off, but I miss him. Maybe it makes me stupid, but hey, at least I will be stupid and happy. I would argue this isn't happiness. I would argue that this is dangling the carrot that would make you happy in front of you, and you're so obsessed with keeping your eyes on the carrot, you haven't taken a step back to really evaluate if the pursuit of that carrot is good for you or not, and if you can have a happy life pursuing something other than the carrot. That's what I think it is. I think OP has convinced herself this is what her happiness is. I can't lie, y'all, and this is mean, but she got the stupid part right. Like, sorry, bro, sue me. Like, shit, man. Y'all, I would pay money to hear from OP's therapist. Like, girl, break HIPAA or whatever the client privilege thing is. Like, I need to fucking know. I need to know what you're telling OP. Like, is this therapist being like, oh yeah, you should definitely keep your ex in your life like that? Or is this therapist like, oh my God, please, please, get rid of him, please? Like, therapist should have taken that raise. I can't disagree with you, Lush. We are on some crazy monumental shit today. If he asks me to step back, I will, but I'm okay with just being happy right now and worrying about the future later. I think both of us deserve that. We both still have a lot of work to do and a lot more healing coming our ways, but for right now, things are good. And I think we both need good. I think all of us, you guys included, need good. If you've made it this far into my ramblings, thank you for taking the time. I wish you all the good things. May you find a $20 in your pocket. May your favorite drink be in stock at the store. May your coffee be made to perfection. But seriously, thank you guys for always giving me the space to talk about my life without, in parentheses, much judgment, with love and acceptance and understanding. Each and every one of you is incredible and kind. Please always know that I appreciate you and love each of you independently. Thank you for caring about me. Love, Ellie and Tortilla. I don't know, bro. I can't sit here and pretend like I would not do the same thing that OP's doing, but like that doesn't change the fact that I'm still like, girl, there are just so many reminders, and not just reminders of like the horrors that happened to you and the shitty family you had to put up with, but also the reminders of like this man that you're clearly still hopelessly in love with, who like chose not being with you and not working through with you. I really do hope OP comes out and maybe like gives us the update on if they still are friends with Ted or whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, that's an incredibly rare situation to find yourself in, but I still stand on business. If you find yourself in that position, I think a full hard cutoff is the best possible thing for you. You have to try to move on before you go back to him. Yeah, I mean, she's tried, quote unquote, but I don't think she's tried that hard, you know? Listen, last thing I'll say, at least a lot of our predictions were wrong. We have to give Ted that credit. Went no contact with the mom and most of the brothers, at least the shittiest ones. Doesn't have another girl, mistress, or whatever, at least that we know of. I don't know. Is the ending great? Nah. I guess it could be worse, but like that's a bad way to look at things. It could have been much worse. They could have all died in a horrible accident. Crazy, man. This is just one of those fucking stories, bro.